think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it feels like Christmas. My birthday is 5 days away from Christmas. So if I rewind a day back and then fast forward a month, it'll be my birthday. But I feel like my birthday is tomorrow. I feel like it's Christmas tomorrow and I don't even celebrate. Man, it's such a great day to be in the sport of boxing, man. Everything went off without a hitch. You know, I had my fingers crossed. I just been thankful to the boxing gods that nothing went astray. Everything is, the train is on the tracks. Everybody made weight. Nobody pulled out. Nobody did a Schofield on us. Nobody pulled a Fundora on us. All systems are gold. And I'm just grateful for it, man. That's all I can really say, man. I'm extremely happy and excited. You know what I'm saying? That we got a fight. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, AC?
Man, listen, bro. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, but it's bittersweet for me. It's bittersweet for me because at the end of the day, I hear a lot of talk online, and it's basically from the way you guys are talking. I'm gonna keep it a beam. Y'all laying it on kind of thick to making me think that this shit sounds like a eulogy. Like, bro, like, I mean, y'all could have got Al Sharpton to come out and or one of them, to come out and give a proper eulogy, because I don't know if I've ever been this confident going in, and as it got closer to the fight, my prediction of the knockout is getting less, and I'm taking off rounds. Like before, I had it like 8 or 9 or something like that. Right now, bro, I'm more like, yo, I think this shit gonna happen in 5 or less. I'd be surprised. I'm not gonna be surprised if the shit don't go 3 rounds. And people could be like, oh god damn, you just taking everything. No, I'm not taking nothing away from Devin. I swear to God, I'm not. It's at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna say it like I said. As I look at these film studies, you are tailor-made for Brian Norman to knock you the fuck out. It's just you were too stupid to realize that.
Yeah. You cut out or went on mute or something?
No, I just went on mute because all of these shits in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, finally that shit passed. But basically, all I'm saying, bro, is um, it's bittersweet for me. I'm super excited about the card. I'm super excited about this fight. I just at this particular point, um, I just want the one guy who deserves all the fame and accolades to actually get it. And in my opinion, that's Brian Norman Jr. I'm actually pulling and rooting for him because at the end of the day, I think he'll be. At the end of the day, it's not. I think it's he's one of the best representation of a champion that we've seen in a very long time. So, you know, sky's the limit for this dude. You know, and all you got to do is put this guy. Put this guy in the dirt, and it's a done deal. Bob gonna give you whatever you want, and you're what Bob wanted since probably going way back. You know what I'm saying? To the Ali days. So, good good luck to both the fighters. But at the end of the day, it's a done deal with me. I already sealed the envelope and mailed in my vote. You feel what I'm saying? I checked the polls, and bro, you ain't winning this, not by a long shot. And I just don't see where all of these people are trying to make these excuses for you, how you make that up in one training camp.
Yeah. I'm just putting the word out, man. Should have did this before I actually went out there, but Cookie Monster says, sounding groovy, baby. Do I make you Randy, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, salute to Cookie Monster. Definitely shout out to her. But I'm over here, Ohio out there in Dubai right now.
Yeah, I was watching something and I heard that, which is good, man. That's great. For Abdullah, right?
Yeah. But god damn, bro, you live in history right now. You feel what I'm saying? You out there, you gonna see that fight, bro. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm almost done, brother. Then I'm gonna get into the housekeeping.
Yeah, and it's always around this time, like between 8:30 and 10. It's like 100 police cars and fire hydrants and ambulances that just want to come down my block. I'll be like, God damn, and then the people that's sitting there, they just don't want to move. So that's why I pause up sometimes and or mute up sometimes, and it's just like, damn, I want to say something, but I can't because it's going to be overshadowed by all of that background noise. But Abdullah, yeah, I'm looking forward to that Abdullah fight. The one fight that if I had to say, all right, I'm gonna put a list together to go down the list and say, for me, I want to see all of them, but just to say the most enthusiastic about to extremely enthusiastic about. Devin Haney, Brian Norman. After that, it's going to be Yard Benavidez. After that, it's going to be Mason and Abdullah Mason and Bam. It's pretty much, I don't know really what to put into that because this should be the type of fight that makes you look real good, even though it's a unification. But it's just not that. It's just not that much there. You know, it's just not much there or meat on the bone for me to feel like any real given moments you're gonna be in trouble.
All right, hold on. Let me see, cause my bad, man. I was dragging my feet on this one, but let's go into the housekeeping so we can
Yeah, for
really.
sure. I was just giving just those little broad points, but go ahead.
Let me see. All right. I remember when it was found out, you know, because the last time I felt like this, especially when it came down to Devin, was because I said, "Oh, here we go. We finally get to see him fight somebody with his size, but he don't have all these advantages." I like it's a real fight. It was 420. I was calling it April Fools. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to say, Devin, unify with T.O., unify with Sabril, unify with Rolly. Don't go play in the sandbox for Ryan. Nobody heard me. And so Ryan come out, he do his things, you know what I'm saying? Everybody says the left hook, but we all know the right hand because of the left side of Devin's face. So the verdict was rendered. You know, it was like 5 knockdowns. Harvey Dog, the third man in the ring, it was like 2 against 1. Because Harvey Dog was pushing Ryan and, you know what I'm saying, detaining Ryan and delaying the count by messing with Ryan instead of tending to Dev, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a messy fight. But lo and behold, Ryan Garcia won the fight. After that, his brother comes out and says that you know, the man upstairs came to him in a dream and said that, you know, Ryan was gonna pop dirty. And lo and behold, Ryan pops dirty for the Osterine. And people came out with these numbers and they were saying that, oh man, it was consistent with or comparable to levels that were in line with it being some kind of contamination. People started becoming barracks lawyers. That's what we used to call them in the Army, barracks lawyers, people who you sit around and you get all this secondhand pocket information from. You fuck around and go to jail listening to a barracks lawyer, but you know, there was some skepticism because a guy had came in the last minute, recommended by Zab Judah, some dude named Scooter. He comes in and he helps Ryan. Now this thing that Ryan was on was supposed to be to cut weight, you know, things like that. It is on the ban list. To my understanding, you're not supposed to have any of it in there. Somebody else was trying to tell me, you know, earlier, you know, a long time associate of the channel, my man was trying to tell me about some numbers in regards to Sabril. There was a lot of outrage when Ryan did it, and my suspicion is because of the outcome of the fight that we got that, because people started becoming historians. I know the Haney voice, they jumped out there. They were real adamant about it. They was all hard on the whole cheaters, this and that, even though they're not that consistent because they gave Michelle Rivera an interview in which they allowed him to call Tank a bitch after he popped hot. But Frank Martin wound up beating him when he popped hot for his thing, but they still gave him a platform, gave him a voice, let him say whatever it was he said. So people have selective outrage for when people pop hot. Now, when Michelle Rivera popped hot, it didn't stop Frank Martin from doing what he needed to do to Michelle Rivera. Outboxed him, sat him on his back pockets, you know, and everybody thought Michelle Rivera was the pure boxer and Frank Martin was the boxer puncher. But looked like Frank did a little bit. He was better at boxing and he sat him down in his back pockets. And there was really no outrage. It kind of went on the table. There was really no outrage even with Alberto Puello, even though Alberto Puello's, when he popped hot, it was consistent with what the reasoning was that they gave. They said that he was actually in the midst of trying to have a child. Him and his lady wound up going ahead and having a child. I'm more understanding of those things. You know, for the longest time, Sabril Matias was one of my guys. I campaigned for him hard, like I do Gary Antoine, like I do Richardson Hitchens, because 140 is my division. You know, I called it the row a long time ago. I say any given night, it's the most competitive division. And now these guys are starting to fluctuate and teeter-totter up in 47. So I try to have a grasp on all of those fighters. You know, try to keep a pulse on all of those fighters. So when it came across my news feed that Sabril Matias popped hot for Osterring, I said, wow. I said, not, you know, like everything else, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'm not going to bang the gavel on my guy. I'm not going to come in with the guillotine. You know, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to allow some information to come out. But I am going to pay attention to how the media reacts. And like right now, what I'm saying is there is no outrage. This is why I be trying to say, man, you got to check your favorite content creator. Check these guys who be doing content who there is no outrage, because we can go back and look at how y'all felt when Ryan popped. Now there got to be some more things that got to come out, right? And we got to know the circumstances. It's a little odd to me that it happened so long ago, because it seemed like that fight was so long ago. Like, why are we just now finding out about these, you know, these things? And this is right after somebody pointed out that this is, it's because I was thinking the same thing, but I like to give credit because somebody else was thinking this as well. They were saying that is because Sabril Matias, you know, didn't want to get along with Turkey on the, because it was supposed to be on this card. See, that's how long ago that fight was. I mean, it would have been a tight, kind of like a tight turnaround, especially after having gone through a camp. But they were saying that because Sabril didn't get in line and go with the program, so that him and Dalton Smith could get on this card, that now this information has come out. So I was like, I gotta put that in my rucksack and march on for a little while and digest all of the information, let some more things come out so I can put it all together and come out with a proper assessment. But I was like, where's all the outrage? That's Sabril pop hot. Was it, you know, I don't really think it's gonna be much outrage. You know why? Because this is one of those cases where, and I say, man, dang, man, if this is true and the B sample is collected and, you know, they don't rule it out as, you know, contamination or something that you know is not that adverse. This is one of those situations to where a guy like Sabril, because of his fighting style, right? Because of his fighting style, that people are not going to be too sad that he's out of the picture. Why? Because if their favorite fighter for them, they might have the skill to pay the bills and actually beat him, but they're going to get fucked up in the process. So I was waiting on that. Go ahead, CJ.
All right. I just want to step in and give my little intro. What's up? Shout out Body. Shout out AC.
Salute.
Whew, been a long day. Okay, I'm glad it's the weekend, but let me say this. You touching on something I hadn't considered, like the fighting style, but I want to like dig just a bit deeper. I think that the racism behind it, Ryan's pop, and you know, I went on at the same time, and the proximity, like the outcome rather, like you said, of the fight, that has a lot to do with it. But I'm just hearing about this maybe less than 24 hours ago. So please give me some details about when Matias popped, how long ago was that, and why is it coming out now, in your opinion?
This is when he actually he fought Alberto Puello. This is a couple months back. This is like 3 months ago. 3 months ago, when he fought Alberto Puello, when Alberto Puello was the WBC champ. And Alberto Puello could have rematched Gary Antoine, but Sabril Matias, they set that fight up with Sabril Matias, and that's when he actually popped hot for that. So that's what I'm saying. It was 3 months ago. I'm like, why are we
that's
just
crazy
now?
Yeah. I don't like that. That's political, but it's all in the game, right?
So here we go. Yeah, I think because Melazar was Melazar was he was chatting with me in the community tab earlier, and he was saying it's a .086. He put that again up here. He let me see. Let me go ahead and.
Oh, we're talking about the amount. I want to get into that too. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was saying earlier that it's like less. It's less than anything less than 0.1 is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? But
that is what I've seen on the official sheets. Yeah, I've seen that paperwork. But I want to say this, champ. It's banned for a reason. Anyone says that PEDs don't matter, either you just don't give a fuck about fighters' health in general, or you're practicing a double standard depending on who it is. I'm going to keep my shit consistent across the board. I ain't went live in I think over a week now because I've been dealing with some personal shit. But, I'll acknowledge it. I'll be consistent with it. If and I'm not even gonna say wait for the B sample. I'm already disappointed in Matias for this shit. But no. It's not. If it's on the ban list, no amount is acceptable, and you don't know. Like a lot of assumptions are being made. I'm going with the evidence, the hard evidence that he popped positive, right? So for both of them, Ryan, Matias, anybody else, Roy Jones, I don't give a fuck. I'm consistent across the board. For y'all want to play that race angle, I've been seeing a lot of that shit lately. Y'all say I'm racist for being consistent, but can't point out, you know what I mean, how I'm actually racist because I keep the same standard for black fighters and Latino, this Mongolian motherfucker, everybody. So I say all that to say this, that no, it's inexcusable. It's not supposed to be in your system at all, and that goes for everybody. So fuck that shit. And I know the usage is to cut weight, which he didn't even make the weight. I'm talking about Ryan in this case, didn't make the weight. And it's to cut weight and retain muscle mass, right? So we had that pop. Oh, Ryan couldn't duck the left hook. Granted, his game plan was shitty as fuck. I don't know why he went out there trying to fucking be Debo, as they say, trying to be the tough guy when he could easily outbox him. But that was shitty. But you can't quantify it to me. People who said it made no difference, you cannot quantify how much the PEDs made a difference. It was in his system, and it had some effect. And that's it, man. I'm a land without I'm getting too heated.
I feel you. I mean, but I like the fact that you're consistent across the board. So I mean, you just gotta keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that same energy. I mean, I can't knock you for it. I mean, my whole thing was I just found out courtesy of Melazar that he was working with Mimo Heredia. Mimo Heredia, somebody connected the dots from Mimo Heredia with another fighter on the card. I guess he's not working with him anymore, but that other fighter, I know he used to work with that fighter. And also they will connect to some of the same dots that the late great VC, and he was in the same vein as the late great VC. So I was like, man, just to know, for me, I didn't know he was working with that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one. For two, this substance, I mean, it's one of those things to where if you're gonna dive into it, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where this is something where we know that people are pushing the envelope. Yeah. Because you can use okay, so it's like anything else. Like if it's if it's a barrier where it's like, okay, below here is okay, and then up here is it's one thing when it's down here and it's another thing when it's up here. It's just like when you get pulled over when you've been drinking. If you're below this amount, you're okay. You could be operating the vehicle.
That's cool. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're above that level, then you have no business operating the vehicle. So it's one of those things where if it's down here, okay, cool, you can box. If it's up here, you have no business, you know what I'm saying, using that amount while you're, boxing. So it's like, it's one of those things to where they need to completely say, okay, if we find any, it need to be binary.
Nothing.
If it's there, it's bad. Like if it's there, it's that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's binary. If it's there, you out. If it's not there, you good. That's what it needs to be.
You got to be a military man. I didn't even know that before, but yeah, I just want to say this real quick. I'm gonna let you land and show shit, but yeah, you said it's got to be consistent across the board. Just zero tolerance. If you fuck up, you out the game.
This this is what I wanted to say about it. After like really trying to figure out what this stuff is and what it is, the thing that kind of fucks with me, how New York did it, and we're going to talk about racism or whatever, is the simple fact that you went after the guy for the least thing, because in the male's body, it's kind of like it kind of operates a certain way, but it also is used to mask other things. So he did pop dirty for something else, but you didn't suspend him on the other thing, because he was using this thing to mask it. So why not go after the thing that's definitely not on the list? Because you said it wasn't enough to test, but at the end of the day, it was enough to tell you it was there. And the masking agent is what you got him on. Okay, cool, but you got him on something. You feel what I'm saying? As far as we hearing about this fight happening, this stuff happening way later, it's like, oh yeah, this is some bad business in boxing. This is some real bad business in boxing. So it makes me kind of like now look at fights that are in, like Saudi Arabia and other places like that. What are you willing to allow?
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if Saudi is registered as far as a state that VADA is fucking with. You feel what I'm saying? On boxing, they may be registered for a country that's MMA level, because MMA been over there for years and years. You feel what I'm saying? But boxing, their first showing was AJ.
I had questions too, but with what's that card? No, that didn't have nothing to do with the Prince. Well, Turkey Dashiki.
Which card?
That card with Fabio and them. That was just a straight. I know it was
just
on
the
the
zone,
but
no chaser. Yeah, I feel you.
So I'm trying to figure, but I had that question too, AC. That's good homework, and like nobody's really probing into that. I know that they say that he's very strict on it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know what the levels in which jurisdiction, but it might be the Queensberry. It might be an extension of Queensberry. But that's homework. We got a parking lot there, AC. We got homework to do on that. Like as far as what jurisdiction and how does that work with them guys fighting over there?
I thought that shit was worldwide, but y'all might be right. I mean, I'm open to it. We could look into it. Yep.
Yeah, we got to look into it. Okay, but let's move on. The next one is no outrage for AJ fighting Jake Paul. It's almost like everybody's acceptable, and it's like some people are I would say disguising it. If I would have to say, and if I could use my own word or my own description, I would say they're disguising it because all of a sudden they want to see AJ knock Jake Paul out. But I'm like, I mean, as far as it was two people that everybody was trying to shove down everybody else's throat. There was Turkey Al-Sheikh and there was Jake Paul. And I was the only one like, hold on, guys, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Let's relax, so I don't know where this came from as far as everybody wanting Jake Paul to get knocked out now, and that's like the thing that they're trying to hide behind to justify. I'm like, it ain't no way around it. There was some fake ass outrage when Tank was getting ready to get the bag. Now, and I noticed that as soon as that fight was canceled, because before the fight, when everybody was saying Tank about to get 100, some people were saying 100 mil, some people were saying 150. Everybody saying he ain't getting no 100 mil, it's 40 mil. Soon as the fight got canceled, you know what they said? Oh man, he fumbled. How you gonna fumble 150 mil? I'm like, man, people are funny as fuck, man. So when the fight was on, they was minimizing how much, and being trivial or minimizing the amount down to the 40. When they say he quote unquote fumbled the bag, They
Damn.
maximized the amount and went with the full blown 150 mil. I'm like, man, people are funny. And so now apparently it's all good because AJ's supposed to be getting this big bag and people want to see. One is not going to be an exhibition. They hide behind that too, and they're also saying they want to see AJ knock out Jake Paul. I'm like, man, people are like, where's the outrage as far as a real boxer? Because there was no, again, I gotta add, there was no outrage when they figured out they were trying to get Ryan, and people were actively. This is why I say you gotta be like CJ now. If you're gonna keep the same energy, right? You gotta be consistent because people were campaigning for Ryan to fill in for the fight, right? Then we got word that the great Terrence Bud Crawford was down to do it. Besides, it was done. He would have done it if his name would have got chosen. So there was no outrage about that because even when that news came out, it was no biggie. I mean, I know another channel did something on it, but I didn't even watch that shit. I just know that from what I was reading, that he was the name that actually accepted and said it. I didn't hear no outrage from the Bud fans saying, "Oh, nah, come on." But then again, I said, well, maybe they feel like Bud has already done enough in his career, or whatever they want to justify to be able to not have no outrage for that. I just thought that was funny. So it was Ryan, Bud, and now AJ, and there's still no real outrage for it. And I'm like, wow, there's no outrage. It was just so it. When I be trying to say, man, it's a different standard, you know, for when it comes to Tank and how people judge and look at him. It's just a different standard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no real way around it because you can't justify any of those names. It's just like right now, you can't even justify Ryan, which is my last part. Ryan getting another title shot coming off of a loss to Rolly. You can't justify it, like by any means. Like people was upset that Gary Antoine in a hard, tough, pretty much by the judges. Now I did have Puyo edging it, and Gary Antoine is my man. I'm just like that. Even though just like with Loma and Devin, even though I don't really like Devin like that, I still had him beating Loma by the hair of his chinny chin chin according to the scores. You know, that's just how I am. When a tight fight, I'm just gonna stick to what my eyes see. I'm gonna judge accordingly, and I'm not gonna take nothing away. So for me, I can't justify a lot of these things that's happening. All I gotta do is sit back, take notes, and watch and wait and see if everybody gonna keep the same energy about these things, and they're not. Like the outrage is not there for Jake Paul and AJ, which is it's gonna be a massacre. I don't care how y'all think AJ is. Daniel Dubois, he's one of them guys to wear on any given night. If he's feeling good, he's feeling great, he can get up with the best of them. I think he actually stopped Usyk with that body shot. That was a legal body shot. Just like that body shot that body shot that Puyo caught Gary Antoine with. That was a legal body shot. Like I mean, so that's just how I am. But the last thing is this, man. And we all can cook, man. This the last thing. Mario Barrios, he's starting to become the strumpet of 147. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like Mario. I used to like Mario Barrios in a way, but it's like right now, he might well get out there at the Motel 6 with a sign saying, hey, taking on all comers. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I don't like the fact that right now it's almost like, oh, you want to turn to Mario? Oh, I got next on Mario. It's like, come on, man. Like, I know you had some names. You had Tank, you had Keith Thurman, you put hands and feet on Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you go in there with you respect Pacquiao, you know, but you give Pacquiao a shot after being on the couch for 3-4 years. And now Ryan gets a straight line shot. A straight line shot right over there. Where is where you go, Melazar?
Let me step in real quick. It's a couple of things you said. Yeah, obviously Barrios after the bag, he's like, I've been through these wars. I know I'm not going to be the top dude, so let me cash out. That's how I see that. I ain't even mad at him for that. I wish fighters would admit, I know it's bad business strategy, but I would appreciate when you would admit if it's a work or a shoot, and pro wrestling terms, coming from that background, and to transition from that, yeah, the Jake Paul shit. Okay, AJ, I think a lot of boxing fans aren't mad at that because either it's a work and we gonna see it for show now because it's not a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. This is a fighter at the end of his prime, former two-time unified heavyweight champion. So we gonna know what we see. And I think a lot of boxing fans, at least I hope, and I'm coming kind of from the same place that do it for boxing, right? Just put it into the nonsense. I mean, I would never get in the ring with a boxer and try to wrestle. So that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, I'll pass the mic with that. I ain't got too much.
I would say this real fast.
Salute, Melazar. But go ahead.
Does AJ sign the no knock me out clause for additional $10 million?
Is that factual? I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying what's the source.
I'm just putting it out there. Like at the end of the day, we keep hearing these rumors. I put out the video. I showed the video that says, listen, this man said all of this shit is fake and rigged. So then it begs to ask the question about your card, since you want to say what you said. And then after that, then it says, does AJ sign a no knock me out clause for additional millions? I just threw 10 million out there because I think that's a fair number for a fighter like that's an AJ, even if it was a Deontay Wilder, to say, listen, if you want to use my name for your spectacle and you want me to sign this thing so I don't knock you the fuck out within the first 2 minutes of the first round, I'll sign that piece of paper. It's a $10 million price for me to sign that piece of paper.
Oh, I wish you didn't put that in the air, but go ahead.
Melazar, what's on your mind, brother?
Muted.
Melazar.
Maybe you need to tap out and tap back in. Let's salute to you, man.
Well, he's basically saying that the money wasn't 160. See, I really don't like. I just have points of reference. Like I wasn't like, even when they were saying Taker was gonna get 150, like it wasn't like unfathomable, but it was a little hard for me to believe. Just a smidge.
Wow, at 150?
Yeah, they were saying 150. It was some channels out here saying 150. I was like, man, I don't know for sure. What I saw was between 40 and 60.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, that look more reasonable, but it could be
100 for AJ. Doesn't, because it's gonna be in the United. It's like, it's not AJ before Dubois. He's a AJ after get his ass whooped by Dubois. That is a good boxer. Don't get me wrong, and Jake Paul can sell this shit. You feel me? Like he can sell, and then the undercards under him, all these people gonna watch them. You feel me? Because it's not gonna be just one fight. He's gonna have undercards, and he always bring good boxer, female boxing, all this stuff. Like, I want to watch it, and I got Jake Paul beating AJ for real.
Oh my god!
Hell yeah, that bomb ass British.
I was with you, champ. I was with you, but no.
I know you. No. There gotta be something with your heart again, Melazar. You can't. It's no way, man. If you see what he did to Ngannou now, do you think Ngannou? I know
Ngannou don't know how to box. Ngannou know how to wrestle, but he don't know how to box. Jake Paul know how to box.
But Melazar, we can say that in my book he beat Tyson Fury.
Who? Oh, well. But that Tyson Fury wasn't easy, and I
don't care. He knocked him down.
Oh,
and even on the cards, he got him. On my card.
I gotta ask you this question: does Jake Paul beat any heavyweight amateur gold medalist.
In the amateur, if they are in the amateurs,
Yeah, him being a professional does
Gold medalist.
and you put a 10-round fight, yeah, because they're used to fight 3 rounds. You feel me? Like they're used to fight 3 rounds. Don't hit me hard. Just making points, moving around. Of course,
You
Jake
see
Paul just
knockouts
gonna
in the
hammer him
amateurs,
down.
bro. A knockout
Is this a guy
in the amateurs right now? You could knock somebody the fuck out. You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but the amateurs are weak. The amateurs are 3 rounds. That's the reason the
A gold
Cubans
medalist.
never make it in the professional.
Listen to what you're saying.
In the amateur, Cubans
You're
are the
saying
best
Jake Paul
amateurs
could
in
beat
the
a
world.
heavyweight gold medalist who trained for
So
many more years and had real fights.
You know how
Hey,
you know
don't
how
worry
many
about it,
bomb
CJ.
ass gold medalists are out there that they don't even make it to professional because they're not good. Being a good amateur don't make you a good professional. Okay.
Indeed, and
hey,
beating up on
there's
retired MMA fighters doesn't make you a good professional either. You got
Hey,
it.
there's casuals and then there's real boxing analysts. Remember, guys, there's casuals and then there's real people who know about the sport and real boxing analysts.
Bro, I grew up watching boxing. What is the problem that I like Jake Paul? Why? Because he's pale? That's the big problem? I don't
No,
give a
champ.
damn.
I was pointing out objective
I don't give a
criteria.
damn.
You were the one bringing it to race.
Yeah,
I didn't
we're
say
not
shit
talking
about that.
race, bro.
Nah, Melazar, I'm just fucking
that's
with
the only
you.
shit that people. Oh,
I am too.
I am
too. But I'm just
he entertained.
Melazar. All I'm
Talk to
saying
them
is,
people.
if the
Address
shoe fit, the
my
shoe fit,
points.
buddy. But all I'm saying is that there's casuals, there's real boxing analysts, and then there's the people that really study the
I
sport,
feel
been
you.
around.
I understood you wrong.
All right.
Nah,
I'm fucking angry for what I even want to talk about that shit. You feel me? Like that hit me hard, and I'm just in the defensive mode. But
I respect your.
At least you acknowledge it. That's cool.
Because at the end of the day,
DJ funny, man.
We don't really know AJ's punch resistance. I mean, after being knocked out several different times, after going through a war with Usyk, to where Usyk just had him flailing in the 2 fights that they had. You got to question his punch resistance. Is Jake Paul the most technical person?
Yeah.
No.
Technical, no.
But he's showing. I mean, for those people who are rooting for him, he is showing that he does have some power in his hand.
Yes.
Everybody can't knock people out. It takes a certain amount of technique and to have that delivery system and that timing to see the opening, go for the opening, throw the right punch, have yourself in the right position, coil properly so you can get the most leverage on that shot and then deliver that knockout shot. I get what you're saying. I get where you seeing what you're seeing, because I'm not the biggest AJ fan, and sometimes I think, other people, if they just connect on this dude's chin, he might go out. But the only reason why I asked about the gold medalist part of it is because, for me, I just don't think, even with the amount of fights he has, let's just say it was one of Cuba's heavyweight gold medalists. Jake Paul ain't lasting those 3 rounds.
Oh, King Kong Ortiz? Oh, shit.
You feel what I'm saying? So
when he was young.
At the end of the day, that's just my opinion. I'm gonna keep it at the same energy. But I don't know the platform that AJ is gonna use off of this fight.
Look, I'm gonna put it like
what
this.
You mean? What?
I'm gonna put it like this. I don't trust Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to his fights, I admire what he do as a promoter. I think he is bringing eyeballs to the sport. Yes, he's getting women boxers paid, but there is no fucking way. I don't give a fuck if Big Baby from Ohio, if he came back and fucking and went upside AJ head, and then right after that he fought Jake Paul. It's no fucking way that Jake Paul should be able to stay in there unless there is something in the paperwork. and he's able to go. He should not be able to go no distance. He should not be able to go to
remember
fucking distance.
the
I'ma
overweight
know it.
Mexican? The overweight Mexican, I forgot his name.
No,
Come on, Andy
Ruiz.
Ruiz.
Andy
That's a
Ruiz.
different
Yo,
skill
everybody
level.
was saying
Don't
that
do that.
AJ was gonna whoop Andy Ruiz's ass and he
But
gonna
that's a
blow
whole
out
different
over
skill
him.
set.
And what happened? You feel
Listen,
me?
listen.
Yes,
AJ have
but it
done
was
that
different
stuff a couple times.
criteria.
That's what that
Nah,
like one point.
that's the
No,
hard.
no, no.
Andy
You're basing
Ruiz,
that.
a fit in shape Andy Ruiz, like a focused Andy Ruiz, was a tough out for a lot of people because he's awkward, exceptionally fast. I always thought that him and Wilder, that was the perfect fight for speed versus power. Like right after that whole ordeal, before Andy Ruiz fought, it was right before when he fought the other Big Baby, and they got that tie, which Big Baby really beat Andy Ruiz, in my opinion.
Yo,
But
yeah,
like right at
that
that time, it was a pocket when him and Wilder should have fought. But
Man, I'm about to
He
say-
beat Miller. I mean, Miller beat him. Right?
I'm about to set this bitch off like this, man. I'm on some little Boosie shit, man. Listen, man. We got a hell of a weekend coming up. Shout out Bodywork Boxing for letting me on the panel. Shout out ACCJ, Bodywork. Everybody salute the chat. Hey, check it out, man.
Always.
I got a big announcement to make. It's Team Haney all the way, baby. Y'all know how we rocking, man. Stand the fuck up.
Man.
Hey, man, they finna beat Brian Norman. He finna get the belt. You already know what's up. Y'all thought I was switching up. I had everybody fooled. I was fucking with him, playing mind games, but you already know what's up with me. Hey, Devin, you look like a hoe and a pussy. You def was nervous at the face-off, the final one after the weigh-ins, but that's cool, champ. Just win the belt, then go lose to everybody else like you normally would do. And yeah, man, shouts out to everybody that's in this motherfucker, man. We lit, man. Let's go. Yarde getting knocked out. Bam Rodriguez is about to put on the show. Masterclass by Devin, man. It's lit, man. It's lit. Let's go, man. But yeah, man. Let's go.
Hey, but listen, Malazar, I actually, in the first fight, I was pissing off a lot of people because I was telling them, yo, Andy Ruiz about to beat the shit out of AJ. Because this is AJ's first time in New York. You had a fight that you could have lined up in Brooklyn.
Thank you.
But you ran away from that fight. Now you want to come back to New York and say, you told us you didn't want to sell your belt to America. What did you do, bro? I said, see, Andy Ruiz is the banana peel, and none of y'all really know, because at the end of the day, bro, this little Pillsbury Doughboy dude got fast ass hands and he got some power behind that shit. And I said, listen, if you go back and look, AJ and Wilder's kryptonite is either somebody that's a little bit shorter than them that can come over the top of their punches, or somebody that's their height or taller. At the end of the day, bro, Andy Ruiz was coming over the top and cracking the shit out of him. Bro, you have no idea how much bread I won off of dudes and barbershops and all of that, off of the first one. The second one I ain't bet. I said, nah, he gonna get his ass kicked. AJ too focused, bro. On some real shit.
Yeah, he was getting that back. Oh, I'm surprised. I'm not saying you capping. Shout out to you for getting that bread. People thought I was tripping on Crawford Canelo, but salute. Yeah, I bet people in person because I want to be able to talk shit afterwards. I want to be able to remember that? Remember when I took that rack off you? Yeah, I'm with it.
But I believe AJ after fighting Ruiz is way different. You feel me? Was it AJ before and then AJ after? You know, like now. That's why I go with Jake, and fuck it. I just want to see the promotion, the trash talking, all that BS. Actually, I give it them at the end. You know, I just want to watch the build up.
I can't see it if it's not a work. If the paperwork ain't in, I can't see no way. It's impossible.
It should be no way.
Why is gonna be? It's not gonna be fake. Jake, like people have to stop saying that, because he can. Like, actually, it's laws
against
man,
you bullshitting, man.
You're laws against it.
Some bullshit. Jake Paul is some bullshit, bro. All he doing is moving women's boxing, and that's about it. All he doing is.
And what is the big problem about it? What is the big
That's
problem?
it. Just be a
he
promoter,
promotes
though.
female boxing.
Yeah, just hey, look. The
Just be a
problem
promoter.
is that you fronting, that you putting in real work like the other boxers. The problem is that you acting like
That's
you
it.
really have been in the boxing game since you were
Yes,
5 or
he
6.
has been,
That's
and
the
he has
problem.
promoted male boxers too. And he been training like a, and he been
No,
fighting
champ.
like
You
a
talking
Jake
boxer,
to?
shoulda,
training
Jake
like
shoulda.
a
Hey,
boxer.
listen, bro. This is what I'm gonna tell you, bro. That's all I gotta say, and then I'm gonna let you continue on your Jake Paul rant. But look, Jake Paul should have just put all that money that he had from YouTube towards boxing as a promoter and promoted the
Somebody
sport
have
for
envy
male,
because he's broke and don't
for
have
male
Jake Paul
and
money.
female boxing. He should have put on.
Jake Paul
He
have
should
more
have put
money
on for
than me and
both.
have envy on him. Oh
See,
my
this why
God, I
boxers
have
don't
so
come
You're
out
not
and say
addressing what
nothing.
he's
See what
actually
I'm saying?
saying.
Y'all see what I'm
You're
saying
like
though?
you're building a
Remember the
straw
other day,
man.
body?
That's
You
how
Remember
put
the
up
other day,
sounds.
body?
races and you
Remember?
say because he has more money than me, I don't give a fuck
Now
about
you
his
see why
money.
boxers don't come out and say nothing. Because when we do, then this is how we looked at.
Yeah, you
Yep.
sound like that. Like, oh my God, I got
See?
so
You're
much
talking
envy
to a
because he's
dude
making
going
a
pro
fight and he's gonna make
who has
money
a
on
contract
Netflix.
about to have his
So fucking
first
enjoy
pro
it.
fight,
Watch
and you're
AJ
disrespecting
and
his
watch, and it's
opinion
not. Don't
on the
watch
game.
it. Don't be
Man.
trashing.
But y'all, hey, we just talked about this a couple days ago.
It's all good though, but I mean, hey, he like Jake Paul. I mean, hey, it's some people, you know, it's
I'm
is
not,
what it
hey,
is.
and the thing is, he missing my message. I'm not against Jake Paul. All I said was
Right.
the shit that you doing is weak, and motherfuckers like me feel like, yo, just promote the sport. That's all I'm saying.
We're
I'm not
judging him
saying
based on his
I
actions.
never,
I really
hey,
need
it-
you. I need this to sink in real quick. Give me
and I
5
gave
seconds.
AJ,
We're judging
I
him
gave
based on
Jake
his
Paul his
actions.
credit about
That's
AJ,
it.
bro. I said Jake Paul fighting AJ is okay. That's giving, give him his respect, right? But I'm saying, yo, bro, don't make it seem like you a world champion, like you been in this sport, like you been around with your family, or like you came up with a whole bunch of motherfuckers, because that's what you're out here doing. You talk about boxers in personal life. No other fucking boxer does that, bro. Like we out here talking about real shit, how we feel about a fighter, whoop-de-woo, but we not out here talking about how so-and-so had a kid and in front of his kid he punched her and did we not doing that, bro. That shit's corny. You don't move the sport.
Yo,
doing
I'm
that, bro.
gonna run the record back real quick. I was listening to this song earlier today. Real motherfucking G's is the actual name of the song, but Real Compton City G's if you got the radio version. But yeah, he's a studio gangster. Jake Paul is a studio gangster. That shit is not real.
Word. I just feel like Jake could do a lot better promoting female and male, the boxing side of things, and he could be Turkey Al-Sheikh Jr. He could go buy fucking PBC. If he got this money to fight these fighters, then he should be able to buy one of these promotions and turn that bitch the fuck up. PBC, Top Rank, whatever the case may be. Do that with your money. Then we gonna look at you like, okay, you done fought a couple niggas and you done
you
turned
get
up
all
one
the
of the
props.
promotions. We gonna fuck with you, bro. But when you out here talking about Javante beat up his girl, I'm about to fight AJ and this and that and fuck Floyd, bro, who's gonna respect you, dog? Like, what are we talking about?
But at the end of the day, bro, it's ugly work. But sometimes shit like that.
All
leads
money
to
ain't
you.
good money, man. That's what this is. All
Yeah,
money
that's-
ain't good money.
And that's how we feel about it. But at the end of the day, how you get your money is how you get your money. Not everybody's gonna agree to it, and then there's always that day that people just stop fucking with you.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, I'm not liking the way you move. I'm not liking this. Starbucks was the biggest spot to go out and buy coffee.
He said sleepy time.
But at the end of the day, how many Starbucks do you actually see anymore?
Yo.
So everything has its cycle.
I need to know what you using, man. Put me up on game.
Is nasty.
Or these fucking thumbnails, man. My shit be generic as fuck. Put me up on game.
Hey, that man. Hey, put the sleepy time one up. Put the sleepy time. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, yo. Hey, everybody that's tuned in. Bodywork gonna be awake tomorrow, y'all. He sleep right now. He going through that little phase of believing in B Norm and them. So y'all gonna see.
No,
man.
for real, body. You on IG? I want to hit you up for just a little consultation.
Real
quick, hold on. Let me ask him that. You on IG?
Yeah, I'm on there.
Okay.
At the end
Same
of the
shit.
day,
Bodywork boxing.
Yeah.
We already saw the
Okay, I hit you
eulogy.
up.
So the
AC
eulogies,
about to follow up, y'all.
so the eulogies actually just you know, y'all don't want to see it, but court is in session. You feel what I'm saying? Um, your your fans are your Judas. They the
Hey,
ones who set you up.
hey,
So
AC,
at
if
the end
court
of
is
the
in
day,
session,
bro,
what's the
Crazy.
charges? What's the charges, AC? What you
huh?
about to charge Devin with, man?
Heresy.
What the fuck?
Straight
He has
up
that answer
heresy.
on deck. Go ahead.
Straight up
Why?
heresy.
Why is that?
Because you talking like you searched Brian Norman out. We all know. Your daddy said it. Senior said it. BF said it. All of y'all was saying Barrios was the dude you was going after, and you had this list of all of these fighters, and guess who was the last one on that list? Brian Norman Jr. So if that's the case, you had no choice. You didn't automatically say, you know what, I'm thinking about going to 47 and I just want to face the toughest dude at 47. No, nigga, you're already lying. You're already lying to yourself. So as long as you keep lying to yourself, we about to watch your funeral. Because you think the little cat gun is what it's going to take down Scarface. So at the end of the day, bro, listen, y'all could go ahead and believe Devin Haney. Y'all could go ahead and rock with Devin Haney. He's still my guy. This is a loss I want him to go through because now I'm going to see the real Devin Haney after this loss. Who are you? Who were you in this sport?
Hey,
were you a real boxer or you got your ass kicked? You took your pail of bucket, you took your ball and went home because the dude beat you in a one-on-one game. We gonna find all of that out.
Hey, let me ask Bodywork a question just real quick. Yo, Body, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Man, so when your boy beat Norm lose, man, what you gonna do with all these thumbnails and whatnot? What you doing? You scrapping them or what, man?
Hey,
Especially sleepy
Talking
time.
shit. You trolling.
Especially
Wait,
sleepy
I respect
time.
it.
You gonna edit sleepy time to wake up call? Like what you doing?
I'm gonna do the same thing that I did when he fought Regis, and
Okay.
I had like that was the biggest plate of crow I ever ate when he fought Regis. So I'm gonna have another big ass plate of crow.
I hope so, man.
There you go.
Wow,
He gonna stand. He gonna be consistent, just like me.
You
Shut up,
damn, man, I
Bobby.
almost turned on the camera, bro. You said sleepy time.
Yeah, he going night night. You ready to go night night?
Say it one more time. He doing what?
Ready to go night
He
night.
about to go night night. You ready to go night night?
Remember that shit.
Hey, yo, AC, what's gonna be your conspiracy after Devin win? What's gonna be your conspiracy? Like, what you gonna say? Devin had all the skills. His master class, like Trey said. What you gonna be saying, AC?
Listen.
I know it.
Nothing can
I know it, but go
happen
ahead.
more.
I'm gonna let him speak on it. Yeah.
Nothing can happen more to me in boxing for this year after what I said about Jin Sasaki and my support for Jin Sasaki versus Brian Norman. So any plates of crow, I'm still full off of that. That meal may sit there for a couple of more months until I get through eating that big ass crow.
You said he can't take it. It's gut about to burst. Okay.
So at the end of the day, the way I feel about it is this.
No Diddy
You're asking me to eat. If Devin Haney wins, you're asking me to eat a 35-pound turkey all by myself with all the fixings.
Let's do it. Thanksgiving solo.
So, listen, bro. I'm
That's not 35 pounds. That's 47 pounds. But you all right? Go ahead.
But all I'm saying is this. Yeah, you got that one. I'm gonna say it like this, bro.
Devin gonna get that one tomorrow too.
If Devin should win
tomorrow,
I'm gonna give him his props all day long. But I'm gonna ask you, what you gonna do if the fight don't go 5 rounds?
I'm gonna come back. Hey, so look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back.
See?
I'm gonna eat the biggest piece of crow there is possible, like the biggest piece. The piece nobody else bit before, like that piece. You know why? Because then I'm gonna say, you know what, B Nor? You alright with me, man. You alright. You alright, you know. I'm gonna give him that old Southern pound tap. Like, you know what, you alright with us. Come on, champ. You know. But
Okay, let me ask you this
again,
question.
once failure reveals itself, I'm gonna bow my head, I'm gonna turn on my camera for Bodywork Boxing, and I'm gonna put on a phenomenal show for you guys. I'm gonna put on a phenomenal show.
Yo,
Because
let me just.
I'm not telling you what to
before,
do, but it'll probably help
I'ma
you in
say it
general to
again.
clam up more because you're going pro. It'll probably help you get your profile out there.
To you. Let me just ask this one question to you. Have you ever heard an opponent, and we can even go back to Regis because we know how Rougarou like to talk his shit, right? Have we ever heard an opponent tell Devin Haney, what are you gonna do when I take away your jab and I cut off the ring and I take away your other weapons and then knock your block off? What y'all gonna say? What you
I
gonna
don't
do?
give a
What y'all
fuck
gonna
about
say?
these words,
Have
man.
you
I just
ever
wish we
heard-
could wait.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever
Hey, hold
heard
on.
someone say, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you"? Okay, well let's see it. Let's see him come
Hey,
off the top rope.
He could
But
keep.
you're missing the point.
Hey,
You're
hold
missing the
on. Let
point.
me
You're trying to
respond,
deny the
AC.
point. And the point is,
Look. No,
no one ever
AC.
talked
Hold on.
to
Let me
Devin
say
like
my
that.
side. Look, AC. Look, this is how I look at it. Look, he could keep putting out his practice poetry that he been writing at home. He could keep putting out his my nigga. He having self rap battles. You feel me? Like he out here having self rap battles within himself. You know, so.
And you're working on the mouthpiece. Not everybody can come off the top.
Yeah, you could talk a good game, but you gotta walk a good game too. You know, Jordan could shoot, but Jordan could also dunk. He could also filet mignon. You know, bring you to that island for real. You know, be versatile, cause power ain't gonna get you everything you thought, brother. I'm gonna tell you that right now, brother. That power, you gotta have more than just that. You know, and on top of power, it's a thing called it factor that don't nobody talk about. You know.
Oh no, Norman has mentioned that in the lead up. I forgot the exact verbiage, but he mentioned like if you that guy, oh that's what he said, right? If you him, it don't matter if you face that level of competition, that you know that, and that's gonna come out eventually when you do get to face that level of competition. But yeah, man, same man. And it's funny because I actually agree with AC on the fight prediction. I put the bread on Norman, but I hate the Haney hate. I know it seems like I'm playing the middle ground, sitting on the fence, as they say, but no, man, it's like it is a legitimate like a toss-up fight. Like they say 50-50. So come on, you got to respect it. I hate the extremes on either side. That's where I'm at with it. But again, for the record, bread is on Norman. So I gotta land on that side.
Check it out, man. Check it out. I'm on some New York Times shit. I'm trying to sound like V Norm right now. Feel me? Word. Listen. Trying to rhyme and shit. So if I don't rhyme, my bad, y'all. But listen, brother. B Norm ain't got it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like when I advise it, B Norm just heavy-handed, flat-footed, slow feet. His head is on the line. His combinations is okay, you know, but B Norm ain't seen this level of competition, man. B Norm don't know what it's like to be under them lights for real. He been under them Japan lights, but it's time to get up under these Saudi lights. You know, it's time to get up under these big fight lights where these seats is really gonna be packed out. You know.
So let me ask you this question then, Boom. Which country, Saudi or Japan, has a more deeper relationship in boxing?
I'm not too focused on the deep relationships, and you know what I mean. I'm more focused on
but let me
Brian versus Devin.
Then let me put you
Answer
on
the question directly.
Hey, my focus is only the fight. I'm only focused on the fight.
It's Japan by a landslide because
exactly, nigga. That's why I accept. That's why I accept that question.
Japan has several animes on boxing.
Yeah,
they have animes that come on every week. They got mangas that are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, manga.
Yo, AC, you see my picture? I told my little graphic designer homie, I'm gonna try to be quiet. That to base my shit on what's it called? Hajime no Ippo. I said make my shit look like that with a black dude. So that's what that's based
And you
on. So I
already know
feel
what
you.
I'm talking about. So,
Yeah.
like for
Nah,
me,
you
under
definitely
the under
right.
the bright lights, I would think I would be like, damn, I'm in a country that loves this sport so much. They got a cartoon about it. America don't even have a cartoon about boxing. So when it
Hey,
when it
yo,
comes down to
here's my next question. Here's my next question, AC, for you. No, unmute that mic, champ. Don't run from it. Get back.
oh,
Here's my question for you, champ. Where and how are you going to advise the conspiracy? Like when you see Devin win this fight, what's gonna be your first, or what's your first two excuses? Just tell me right now. What's your first two excuses?
So if Devin wins, okay, I got my answer.
okay, I'm
Hypothetically,
gonna say it like this. My first two excuses are congratulations to Devin Haney. You fought a brilliant fight.
And then what's the second one?
After that, anything else I say is just on tune of just me congratulating him. And I'm gonna say, yeah, I got it wrong.
Hey, and then Body.
At the end
I ain't
of the
gonna
day,
put this on your helmet, but I'm gonna put it on Devin fans in general.
I've been a fan of his. Me being a fan of his for as
I'm
long
glad
as I've been
Devin the
a fan of his.
underdog, man. This gonna be
At
sweet.
the end of the day, bro, everything he does wrong and he's still doing wrong because you've seen it in his training camp is going to get him knocked out. I said it earlier. The man is tailor-made for Brian Norman to knock his ass the fuck out.
I can sum it up in 4 words. What they gonna say is, hold on, Haney is Turkey's boy. That's gonna be the narrative. You got it.
Bodywork, what you gonna say? Cause I know you gonna be filthy sick. The way you got these thumbnails pre-made for your boy and shit, like you ain't playing no games, bro.
He said he's gonna take it on the chin. He said he's gonna keep it real. I respect it.
First, the way I look at logically is I gotta see the fight. I gotta see what happened. Like I gotta look and see. I mean, but it's funny how you like asking questions, but you don't like answering questions. Boom. I was so now we gonna
gotta stand on your shit.
So we gonna put you in a hot seat because I asked you. I said, how was he gonna be able to do it? And you, as the boxer, like, cause you are the anointed boxer. You the guy who actually.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you right now?
I want you to tell me how he was gonna be able to do it.
Hold on. Restate the question. I forget.
I wanted to ask Boom, first of all, how is Devin Haney going to pull this off?
So first and foremost, I'd like to thank God. No, I'm just playing. Listen to me, man. Listen to me, man. Check me out. So Devin, one thing that Devin has been working on all camp is what? The jab. What's the first punch that you gonna throw before you throw your combination? A jab.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So you think that'll be the?
Hold on.
I've seen that. I've seen the breakdown.
I'm here. I'm not down. My bad. All right, check me out. So again, the first thing Devin gonna have masterfully clean. I'm talking about it's gonna look so buttery, man. It's gonna look like butter on a biscuit. Is that jab? And do you know Devin gonna?
It's probably before your time, but you would say zestfully clean. Yeah. Okay. I see you. Go ahead.
So again, Devin's gonna have a great jab. Devin's gonna have nice combinations. Devin's gonna run. He's gonna be a runner and a track star. He's gonna get away when it gets hard. I'm telling you, okay?
So he's gonna go in there and he's going to.
I'm disappointed in that.
He's gonna move.
Hey, check it out though. I'm telling y'all for real. Yes, Devin gonna stick and move it. Brian Norman gonna have a hard time cutting off the ring because he's not used to a fighter with footwork. He ain't seen that yet. He think he got footwork. He about to see footwork and know what it is after Saturday. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee you that. So again, Devin sticks and moves, uses his jab, has beautiful combinations, great defense. I'm not saying the best, but he has to have some type of greatness in that defense to win this fight. If there's no greatness in that defense, there's no way, because then he's going to get hit. He's going to get hit a lot.
Did he go over? Where did he do it? Did he do his training over in Japan or in China somewhere? Like, when did he become a motherfucking ninja, where he could just go in there and just grab the cookies out the jar. Don't leave no crumbs. Don't get caught with his hand in the cookie jar. You think he gonna be able to do that shit?
Who, Devin?
That
Oh yeah,
sounds good,
Devin might leave. Hey, listen, Devin might leave like 1 or 2 crumbs, but he not gonna leave his plate crummy as fuck. You feel me? He gonna lick that bitch clean. I'm telling you. Tomorrow he gonna lick that bitch clean.
So Brian Norman said, "What you gonna do when I take away your jab?"
What?
And I'm
that remains to be seen because that's not his specialty.
Exactly.
He's going to be very vulnerable to the jab.
We've seen him do it in
film
a fight
study
already where he took
He's
away.
been very vulnerable to the jab.
All right,
y'all notice the only.
That's why I'm 50-50.
You notice only the second time he's actually gonna be fighting somebody where, when he's in range to hit, he can.
Like
be
I
hit.
said, Devin gonna run away when the fight.
I
get
understand
hard.
what you're saying. The size.
Devin gonna run away when the fight get hard, and I can see it. But you know what else he gonna do? He gonna continuously go back to trying to box and keep sticking and moving. You know, Devin not just gonna go in there and get hit like no crash test dummy. Come on, bro. That's what people think.
So
no. Go ahead.
This is the question though. Being that Brian Norman is the champ, you have to do enough to take it from the champ. So
that's narrative, but it don't always turn out that way.
But in
I understand what you're saying to a degree, but that really don't move that way.
But in this situation, I think it would apply. Like, who's the more exciting? Because most of the time it'd be the business, right? It'd be the business of boxing, right?
No, I agree with that. I acknowledge that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the business of boxing, right? So it'd be the more exciting, it'd be the more fan-friendly fighter, right?
So that's why. See, again.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
You're talking about what people are going to say after the fact. Devin was more accomplished. That's why they gave him the nod. No, Norman was a younger, more exciting fighter. That's why I gave it to him. So I try to avoid that unless I see a clear robbery.
So like when Bodywork fought Virgil, when Bodywork fought Virgil, and he dropped him twice, and it was times where it was ebbs and flows in the fight, but Bodywork dropped him twice, like pretty much outboxed him. And then but remember, Virgil was winning, but Virgil started winning rounds though too. Virgil didn't just Virgil didn't just sit there, get knocked down twice, and not come and do nothing back after that. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying it was ebbs and flows, but like I know when we watched it was a consistent. It was a consensus that Bodywork won in our book.
Yeah, like we all said that, but that was because the 2 knockdowns and that a lot of motherfuckers didn't feel like Bodywork let Virgil do anything after those 2 knockdowns either. But there was nothing from either fighter after that. It was kind of like an even fight to me. I said Bodywork won or it was a draw.
My point is when they rendered the judgment, why did they render the judgment that Virgil won? What was it? What was
A-side shit, promoter shit, A-side shit. You know how
that's his point. And I get him to a degree. I'll say it after it happens.
My question is based on technique. And my question is,
you know damn well Devin Haney got way better technique than Brian Norman.
I'm gonna this is the question I'm gonna ask you because you just fell into the trap, young man. Does Devin Haney what do they call it?
Wow.
Bow.
Devin, all I'm gonna say is Devin, you shouldn't have never had this performance against Ryan Garcia, bro. You shouldn't have never went out like that. This shit shouldn't have never happened like this, Devin. Boom. Because now this shit.
He was asking you something, Boom. You gotta allow people to finish.
But I'm only asking. I'm asking, does he have like a bow and arrow type of jab? To whereas when he jabs, the other hand has no protection over his face, and he's very heavy on that. That's why it's called a bow. So I'm asking you the question.
His jab. This is what I'll answer to you. Sure, he has a bow and arrow jab, but I'm telling you that jab that you talking about, that you talking shit about, that you think is this and all this and that, I'm telling you, it'll be pinpoint sharp tomorrow.
Okay.
So question the jab.
That's what I'm looking for.
All right, question the jab all you want, but just know how those same questions that you had tonight, tomorrow.
So
After Devin is successful and has the belt.
So the follow-up question is, if you got a bow and arrow jab and Brian Norman doesn't,
what does Brian Norman have? What jab does he have? What special jab does he have?
He got a shotgun jab.
Oh, wow. What jab does Terrence Crawford have?
He can change. Terrence can change it up. And plus,
what about Canelo?
They both have the type of jabs and the type of skill set that allows them to shift their weight. Devin Haney doesn't have that. Devin Haney still doesn't know, and we
Benavidez? What? No, hold on. I'm asking you just a list of fighters. I'm asking you. Hold on, but AC, I'm asking you a list of fighters. So Benavidez has a jab?
He has
he got a jab, but his style he don't rely heavy on his jab.
Is it a shotgun? Is it a pellet gun? Is it
it's not a
Glock
shotgun.
40?
No, it's not a shotgun.
No, it's a kind of jab. I'm gonna answer honestly. Kind of jab that allows them to get off combinations to set up.
It's a active jab. That's what that one is called. It's an active jab because you're just using it kind of as a probe. And if there's an opening for you to take the shot, you hit the person. But mostly it's just used as a probe for range and then closing the distance.
AC.
Yeah.
When you were 9 and 10, who was your boxers? Give me 3 boxers. I'm gonna ask you something. Just give me the 3 boxers.
When I was 9 and 10,
yeah, who was the?
Well, I gotta go back. It was actually people like Ali, Foreman, and probably Smoking Joe Frazier. They were all pretty much heavyweights. And
what type of jabs? What type of jabs did these 3 young men throw?
Ali had the type of jab that he had a range.
Did it sting? It sting?
Was it a stinging jab? Yeah, Ali could sting you up with his jab if he wanted.
It was respectable. It would make you. It would discourage you.
What jab did Joe have?
Who, Smoking Joe Frazier?
Yeah, what did he have?
He had one of those active jabs because he used the cross-face guard. And his jab, he would just probe at you, go into the cross-face, close the distance on you, and bang you up. Or just stay looping, throw the jab.
And then what about Foreman?
Catch you with the cross.
Sorry, y'all. I'm watching this pro box. I'm gonna mute.
Foreman had, I would say Foreman's jab was more like a wrecking ball. It's like Joe Joyce's jab. It ain't the fastest, but the timing of it and the speed of it, it's like you just can't move out the way.
And then what did you say Brian Norman had?
We said he has a shotgun jab. That shit is like
wrecking ball. Boom. Wrecking ball.
Shotgun.
No,
we said shotgun. It's like how Maul Charlo jab is.
Oh, okay.
Right, he could probably knock you out with it. A stiff ass, stop you in your tracks type jab.
Yeah, this is entertaining. Shout out to y'all.
But let me, okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is my point, right?
Man, Team Haney, stand the fuck up, man. 147 they here.
You understand that Devin has a track record of people were saying that he had one of the best jabs in the business, right? At one point in time, they were saying that. Since they've been saying that, he had the no contest with Ryan. And he's had the performance that he had with Jose Ramirez, where he really didn't. He used the jab, but he didn't. His feet wasn't even set enough for that jab to be effective.
Yeah.
So we talking about his last 2 performances. We didn't see the time. We didn't see what everybody said as far as we saw it when it came down to. We saw it when it came down to Regis. We saw a jab when it came down to Regis. That's the last time Devin actually looked really good, and it was against Regis. Like, so, but
let me, if you don't mind, let me address that briefly. Yeah. I think it's too small. You know, I'm the math dude. Too small sample size, if you will, to say he got cheated once and then he did everything in his power to preserve the rematch. Granted, it wasn't in spectacular fashion, but he was the one that won his opponent or his potential opponent for the rematch is the one who lost. I just don't think it's enough fights to judge him on. That being
Because
said,
if-
I will
if
definitely
Devin
judge him
banned
on
like that.
what he does tomorrow night. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna put a bow on it. I will definitely judge him on that based on what he does tomorrow night. If he just goes out there and gets stopped early, like a lot of niggas are saying, then I'll say, okay, y'all were right. But if he pulls it off or goes deep, it's going to depend on what I actually see. But I'm saying all that to say it's too early to make that call.
Okay, CJ, I'm gonna say this. How many panels have you been on or watched the lives where it's 9 people against
Infinite.
me? 9 people against me.
Oh, okay.
I'm standing on 10 for Devin Haney. I've watched enough of this.
I ain't mad at you.
I've watched enough of his fights that I can pinpoint the fight that tells you after that fight he became different, and when he became different, his foot movement left. The defensive responsibility that he had when he threw his jab left, because at that point you were the biggest guy in the division, right? You were the biggest guy in the division, and everyone you fought had at least a 4 to 5 inch. You had the 4 or 5 inch reach advantage over. You feel what I'm saying? And you had at least 2 or 3 inches in height over them. So if all I got to do is keep you on the outside, my jab is gonna look magnificent, because you a little nigga I'm beating up. That's like me going outside right now and snuffing a midget. Yeah, I may look really good snuffing that midget, but let it come down to a dude that's younger than me, a little bit more muscular than me, got a bit longer reach than me, and I try to snuff that same kid like that. He'll probably drag my ass. But the point I'm making is this: everyone at this particular junction in boxing history, as is saying over and over again, and for me, one of the talking points that were heavy over here, that we're hearing Sergio say over and over and over again in Riyadh. Yeah, but Devin has always fought the smaller guy. He's always had the physical advantages over those guys. For this time, he's fighting a younger guy who has a reach advantage over him, is not intimidated by him. You gotta listen to shit like that, bro, because shit like that is consistent in what we see and what everybody else sees. But they're trying to gaslight you so you can watch the fight and pay for the fight. Because if they was absolutely honest, they would say, you know what? Devin's about to get his whole ass kicked. It's just that simple, bro.
This the other point though. This is what I'm trying to get at, CJ. Like Devin has made me eat the biggest plate of crow in boxing, right? Devin has single-handedly made me eat the biggest plate of crow. Carlos Adames.
Hold on, champ. You can't say based on the Ryan fight, because I wouldn't have ate that. That's PEDs. Fuck that shit.
No. I'm talking about when he beat Regis.
Oh,
Devin
okay.
made me eat crow
You said that earlier. Yep.
When he beat Regis,
Okay.
right? I didn't see it, but then I did not know. We went over this last time. I did not know the circumstance. I couldn't figure out why Regis looked the way he looked. My argument is that's the last time we saw Devin look spectacular. Like he impressed me so much. I said, "Damn!" He made me look at Regis like, "What the fuck was going on?" And I ate the crow only to find out it was a one-way rehydration. Okay, so after that, so I say, okay, let's move forward. After that, he went into the realm of where he fought Ryan. For me, that was the first time when I said, oh, this is where he don't have all those advantages. He don't have the reach. He don't have the reach. He don't have the height. He don't have this age. He's not more active. Ryan got the faster hands and he had the power. They were basically saying Devin had the higher IQ and the better feet. Right? So that's when we start to see where I always talk about where the advantages are mixed. They're not all over here, they're not all over there. So you really kind of don't know. In that fight, they say Osterling, he gets a mulligan because it was found in his system.
He does.
Right? But as far as they'll still
I'm not
tell
saying
us
how
that,
much it contributed, but okay.
But
Go
listen,
ahead.
I'm not stuck on that. Like we go through this every time. Just listen for a second. Listen.
I'm trying.
During the argument is this: when he was actually winning was the time when they said he was boxing. He was sticking. He was moving. He was not standing in front of him. They say that on the times when he didn't get knocked down, he was winning the fight. But we credit him for having a higher IQ. But he was dumb enough to keep getting hit by the left hook afterwards, in which he said, when they asked him, did the left hook surprise you? Yes, it surprised me. This is a dude that had been fighting Ryan since the amateurs. They split in the amateurs. I argue that in the amateurs, there was 3-3. I argue that in the amateurs, Devin had the style that would cater more to the amateurs. Because, you know, it's not based on power and all that. Like, yeah, you can ring somebody's bell to get somebody out of there in the amateurs, you catch them clean. But the hit and not get hit in the amateurs, that's the style that actually caters. They split. The man said the hook surprised him. But this is what the fans are doing. They're negating the fact that Ryan was landing the right hand. Because you can't just come in there and just hook with a left hook. When you're an orthodox fighter, that's your jab hand. So that's your jab hand, but then that's your weapon of choice with the left hook. So what did you have to use to set that up? The right hand. So what I keep trying to say is it wasn't just the left hook, but Devin said after the fight that the left hook surprised him. So we seen the results. Like I said before, it's like in court when they say some shit and they go, oh, objection, Your Honor, and strike that from the record. But the jury heard it. So we saw it, but we struck it from the record. It's clean. It's not on your record. It's done. It's poof. You got a wish. You wiped it off your record. It's not there to be found. It's like some shit that got expunged. It's gone. So that don't count. The next time we see you, you in there with Jose Ramirez, a guy who can't cut the ring off. A guy who's much back to the advantages again, where he's older. You're more active. You're more athletic. You're still in your career is still. You can argue that your career is still going like this. Is clearly going like this. You ran around the ring like Flash Gordon. We didn't see the jab. We didn't see the IQ. Your reasoning is that because you're on your team Haney, so you want to see the rematch like everybody else. So you might not even be Team Haney. No. Your team, I want to see the rematch, right? So you didn't mind the performance, but for us that was analyzing it, we had to analyze it. When me and AC,
I gotta respond, champ.
But hold on. When me and AC, because remember the Ryan fight was stricken from the record, so act like I didn't talk about it. So we're going back to the regions where he had the one-way rehydration and the physical advantages, even though he was moving up. So that's the last performance. We strike the Ryan from the record. Now we see the Jose Ramirez where we don't see the jab, where your feet are not even set to even get a good jab off. The dude could not cut off the ring. He was not even confident enough to stand in there and really exchange with Jose Ramirez. When me and AC analyzed that fight, him being a huge Devin Haney fan, me, not so much. I asked him, when you saw that Jose Ramirez fight, did you walk away with more questions or more answers? We both said more questions. So then you up the ante. You're going to a guy that's a natural welterweight. Ever since he got his hands fixed, he been sparking everybody. Right? So you only have him by an inch in height, and we look at it like y'all damn near the same height, but you could say you might have got him by an inch. But he has you by an inch in reach. He has more power. His reflexes are just as fast. They're giving you higher IQ. We're not going to know until the night. Because remember, we can't judge the IQ, even though I have the IQ question from the Ryan. But I have to give you a mulligan on that because we never saw that fight. So that's what I'm asking. These things that y'all say he's so confident of, the things that he's showing, he's exhibiting to show like before when he was doing the Regis and what he did with Lomachenko and Kambosos, only these guys that were smaller and you know what I'm saying, where he had those advantages. That's the last time. This is a guy. We are closer to the same size, height, and reach. He's just as athletic. IQ was up in the air. Power, we know it defaults to Norman. Better feet, they're defaulting it to you based on experience. I'm asking everybody, put aside what we want to see happen next and all that. Just analyze based on the last 2 performances that you've seen. Just analyze the fight. Nobody's doing that.
Absolutely. I think damn, what was that song? Must have been the East Siders. You probably don't know this because I'm from the West Coast. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea about me. That's just why I wanted to respond. Let me lay my shit out. First of all, not Team Haney, despite being from the Bay Area. Again, I got the bread on Norman. I'm just giving him a fair shake because he did get cheated. And in my opinion, yes, I analyzed the fight objectively. No, the Ramirez shit performance was trash. He did enough to win. I think the only reason he fought in that manner is because he knew the payday was around the corner if Ryan had done his job. Crazy to me again.
We're not gonna give him a mulligan.
But let me say this, and it's not even that I want to see the rematch because, to be honest, I would rather, it's the same thought process. I would rather Shakur not fight Tio because I don't want to reward a racist with a big, as big as payday. Why would I want to reward that when you're trolling and that's how you want me to react? So I think about things on that level. I don't want to see the rematch, but I know that was his mindset going into it. So first of all, to put a bow on it, not Team Haney. Don't want to see the rematch. Just trying to be fair.
Okay, so if we're gonna have the fairness argument, right? It starts with this. You were supposed to be a prodigy of Floyd Mayweather. Your fighting style is you're combining everything from Floyd Mayweather. You were stamped by one of the Mayweathers. That person's still picking you today to beat Brian Norman, just as a caveat, right? So,
okay,
if we're gonna talk about the greatness of you and put that under the microscope, right? And we're gonna talk about his last performance, right? And we're gonna say, okay, if you're great, right? And we're gonna bring up 2 fighters that had a much longer layoff than Devin Haney. We're gonna talk about Devin Haney's performance after his layoff and that performance versus Gary Russell's performance on his comeback at 35 and Keith Thurman's performance after his comeback at 54. They both made statements. They both stood their ground and fought. You can tell me, and you could follow those talking points in that narrative of how they're gaslighting you, your thought process, your subconscious thought process, because they're talking in a manner that says, is this reasonable? So they gave you something plausible and reasonable, and then they tried to turn it into fact. And that's how you get gaslit subconsciously, and then you don't even realize it because then you start talking those points. My point is this: compare his performances to those. Absolutely shitty. Left me with way more questions like, damn, I want to see Gary and I want to see Keith Thurman immediately. Devin Haney, I was like, yeah, I think you need more fights because you're not there. You left me with more questions. They didn't leave me with any questions. And if you're trying to get a rematch, and let's just use this common sense thing. If you're trying to get a rematch with Ryan, they gave you the type of opponent that's gonna be there for you to punch on, for you to style on. You feel what I'm saying? That's like you got the biggest piece of meat on the planet of the earth, and they gave you some 4'1" fucking Asian chick. If you can't make this chick scream and holler, something wrong with you, bruh. And that's who that fight was for Devin Haney. Yeah. You were supposed to go in there and pound that bitch. What did you do? You ran around the room as soon as she got down to her panties. Like, hold on. Let me call somebody. And you dudes is out here.
This analogy is crazy.
I'm only saying this because you making this talking point. I'm saying all the dudes out here.
He still smashed though, right? He still smashed, right? He won.
Bro, Listen.
Still smash.
Okay, so I don't want to go there and say what I wanted to say, but all I'm going to say is this. At the end of the day, my guy, if you want to make a statement, you would have beat the shit out of that dude. You would have let everybody know that whole Ryan thing wasn't nothing, because that dude was tailor made for you. And everybody is trying to give him the pass and say, well, he was trying to do the Ryan thing. Nobody was saying that before then, until the TV people started saying, well, we got to give him, a pass because it was clear that he was trying to, save himself for Ryan. Did Ryan fight like that? No, the fuck.
I didn't get that narrative. That came out of my head. And let me respond real quick.
Point is this. But
he's still smashed. Real quick.
My point is this. You're still rocking with the narrative that I can excuse that piss poor performance because he was trying to do something else. So if you're trying to go up to another weight or you're trying to get the rematch, isn't it smarter to make the statement with the weaker opponent? You got to make the statement. You didn't.
In retrospect, it would have been easier to make a statement against Ramirez rather than Norman Jr. Okay, granted. I just wanted to say this.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Okay. Well, that's. Let me get this off and you can come back because I gotta mute up in like 20 seconds. No. The main objective was to win, and I want to counter with this because the last time he went out there, the fight immediately previous to that, he tried to go out, let his gun bang, let his nuts hang, and it backfired. So you're criticizing him for not doing the same thing that was unsuccessful previously. That's all I wanted to say.
He was in VADA. See, there you go again, CJ. He was testing VADA. He said, listen, I'm not moving forward with any fighter if they're not actively involved in VADA testing. So with Ryan, he signed off on all of those concessions for Ryan. He signed off on those because he said, even with all I'm hearing and everything, I'm still gonna beat your ass. I'm still gonna knock you out. Mr. IQ, that again, we have to ask the question as a fan of his, Devin, why, when you started to win the fight, you went back to the game plan that got you dropped? Why would you do that, Devin? Like, what was going on in your mind that you felt that at that point when you started to, win some rounds or get some rounds in the bag, it was best to go back to that? If you being a fan of Devin Haney, you can't ask him that real question, then I have to question your what kind of fan of his are you?
Can I answer that question?
Well, I'm not a fan, but no. I would absolutely will criticize. I'm sorry, not to cut you off on your own shit, but absolutely criticize his approach in that fight. So it's multiple things can be true, right? Ryan tested dirty for PEDs, and Devin had a bad game plan, which I absolutely hold him accountable for that. But I'm not a fan of him, so I can be objective about it. Y'all got it.
And I am a fan of his, and I can be more reasonably objective than some of the things you're saying as a non-fan of his, which makes it, which if somebody just tuned in right now, they would think I'm not a fan of Devin Haney and you're more of a fan of him than me. But me, I'm the type of fan that says this.
No, I was critical of his game plan. It was wrong.
But you're the IQ guy, so you have to go back and tell your corner. If your corner is not there for you, you have to tell them, no, I can't do that. Or you just go out and not listen to the corner. We've seen fighters do that. But go ahead, Body. I think you wanted to add something.
Nah, this guy, the most hated, insane, is up here. What's going on?
Okay.
Man, salute to the panel, man. I'm just trying to come here, chop up game with y'all real fast. I think I've been on the panel with AC before. I'm not pretty sure, but he sounds like low-key familiar. But
yeah, so do you.
Devin had the wrong game plan, right? You know what I'm saying? But as we know in the beginning of that fight, Devin caught that hook, man, and it knocked him off, knocked his equilibrium off. But the thing I respect about Devin was his body was working for him, and he went back back into boxing or whatever. He pretty much won every round that he didn't get knocked down in. The thing is, I know you said that about the Austrian, but we forget about the Nandrolone as well. That helps your performance out. So Ryan Garcia is already a naturally strong guy. You know what I'm saying? He's knocked dudes out with that hook. And, adding PEDs on top of that made it even faster, even harder. But we got to respect Devin Haney for even getting up, boxing, knowing where he at, because we see a lot of guys take a shot like that, boom. And if they do get up, you know what I'm saying, they going right back down. They getting jumped right back on and they be up out of there. Now, let's not neglect that he had the wrong game plan. I do 1,000% agree with you. He had the wrong game plan. But when are we going to start holding these other boxers feet to the fire for testing positive for these steroids? The Eddie Reynoso gym, the boy Suvriel Matias just got caught on Austerine. Like, come on now, bruh.
We just cooked on that earlier.
But hold on. But let me say this though. We gave him a mulligan for that. Like this, this is what I've been trying to get down to with CJ. This is what I'll try to get down to with CJ. It's like we're not up here. We're not up here just debating just to be debating. Like we're trying to get somewhere with the conversation. Like we don't give a fuck. We shitted on Ryan for that. We say, okay, well shit, that's your fault. You got caught up with it. Okay, cool. Like we saw what we saw. It's just like in court when somebody asks and they say that's stricken. We threw that shit out. We move forward. So let's drop the Ryan shit. Let's drop the fight. We never saw that shit. So we gonna go from Regis, that dominant performance, right? But I have to disclose that it was a one-way rehydration. We throw out the Ryan shit. Boom, that's out. The next time we see the young man is against Jose Ramirez, a guy that's on the tail end. They know that he was in the bottle, drinking and stuff like that. He was on a downward slope. Devin is still ascending a little bit. This guy is clearly on a downward slope. He don't have the athleticism. Devin got him in age. He can't cut the ring off. That guy was made for you to make an example of, for you to actually show how great you are. We didn't get that. We got, oh, well, he did enough to win, and that's all because it's on to the next one from a rematch. That's not, as an analyst, as a boxing fan, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm glad he got the dub, but we don't give a fuck about that. We don't give a fuck about that.
It wasn't his goal. We're just going to agree to disagree. I'm not bullshitting.
We're going to follow it up. We're going to follow up with a guy that's damn near his same height, that got a longer reach, got more power, just as athletic, and I think that he has faster reflexes. Devin might have the better feet, but we're going to see on that night. We could say Devin might have the higher IQ. We're going to see that on that night. So I'm saying
I just don't understand why he's not giving props. After all the criticism, why is he not getting props for taking on this challenge?
He did get
Norman
props. We gave him props.
The heir apparent. He's the heir apparent to the throne at welterweight, a marquee division, and he's taking them on. He doesn't have to.
This is what I'll be trying to say, CJ.
I don't get it. I just want to see what happens, man.
We're not here just to be debating or just like, that's not even a point.
No, I'm trying to get down to brass tacks too. I feel you.
But that's the first thing we did was say, listen, we salute Devin for even taking. I said, Devin shut me the fuck up for taking the fight. We're past that. We're analyzing the fight now. We're not
before I was on the panel, before I tuned in. Okay.
The fact that he took it.
I didn't hear that.
We passed all of that.
Bro, we
trying to analyze the fight, but we keep getting caught up in this red tape of.
I'm just saying, I don't even applaud it. I'm just saying his mindset, his goal was not to fucking stunt on motherfuckers. It was, I'm just gonna win by any means necessary so I can get this bigger bag in my revenge. Again, I don't even want to see the shit because I don't take Ryan seriously and fuck a racist. I'm just saying that was his mindset.
We about to move on, brother, man. You keep bringing up Ryan, man. Do not, respectfully, bro. Do not.
No. I'm just responding to what you just said. That was his mindset. You basing it. I was talking about Ramirez. No. I was talking about the Ramirez performance and why he had that mindset. Fuck Ryan. Okay, he went into the fight for the future bag.
And my point.
I don't condone it. I don't agree with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask.
That was what he was thinking.
I'm gonna let the most hated, who sound a lot like Boom, He sound a lot like Boom. But we're gonna
Do
let the most hated answer this question.
Let me throw my thing on real fast.
We're
I'm gonna throw
gonna let him answer.
turn my camera on for y'all can know I ain't Boom because I don't know who the hell that is. Hold on,
Go
let me throw
ahead.
my shirt up real quick.
He's one of our homies, amateur or soon to be pro fighter. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I know.
Okay, this is the question. This is the question. One last time. When we saw Devin get in there with Jose Ramirez. Okay, cool.
I ain't Boom.
All right. So when we saw him get in there with Jose Ramirez, a guy that's older, a guy who just got washed by Arnold Barboza. He just got washed. So we can argue that Arnold Barboza washed him, and Devin went in there and just did enough to get by, like outpointed him and got out of there. With the confidence, like I didn't see the confidence that I would need over a guy who you say it's levels. It's supposed to be these levels. That's what we keep hearing with this Brian Norman. It's levels. We didn't see that with Jose Ramirez, who just got washed. So now we put somebody like Brian Norman in front of you where you know you can't get touched by this. You know you can't get touched by this dude clean. Or at least we can reason that you can't get touched by this dude clean. We know that you got a little bit of trepidation by getting hit. You might got a little PTSD. But you took on this challenge. We salute you for taking on the challenge. I'm trying to get down to the nitty-gritty of Brian Norman is the champion. You pretty much got to go in there and either style on the champion, beat the shit out of the champion, do something to where the judge is gonna be like, oh yeah, this dude over here, he took that belt. He looked like the champion. He looked like the challenger. You got to do that. Nobody is telling me how he's gonna be able to do that with a guy for the first time, just like Ryan.
Exactly.
I'll tell you.
Has the same height, has the reach. His reflexes are probably faster. He's probably just as athletic. You have more experience. They're reasoning that you have better feet and that you have a higher IQ. Break it down.
I can do that for you, sir.
Go ahead.
I can do that for you. So let me take it from the Jose Ramirez fight. As we all know, that Devin Haney, he worked out with Shane Mosley up in Big Bear, California, right? Some news got to the Haneys about, you know what I'm saying, whose side Shane Mosley was really on and what he was doing. So at the very last minute, when they went into the Ramirez fight, they changed the whole game plan up. And this is why Shane Mosley was so upset. And he was like, this is not what we worked on. Now that's just from inside, just speaking to Bill and inside with Dev. Okay, now let's move on from there. Let's stay there for 1 second. In that fight, in the Jose Ramirez fight, Devin Haney showed you foot movement. He showed you defense. You didn't see Devin Haney getting caught with that left hand. Every time he shot that left hand on that right hand, he kept his guard up. So he was definitely on the up and up when it came to his defense. Now let's move into the Brian Norman fight. Brian Norman, as we all know, he beats up flat-footed Mexicans. Everybody he's pretty much fought except 3 people. Hold on. Everybody he's fought except for 3 people have the most
just burped
records in the world. Has the most. Damn. Let me get away from these kids real fast. My fault. I gotta go with my kids. I'm gonna go on mute for a second. My bad.
Well,
you got it. Hey, it's been real. I'm gonna step down, man. I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all got it.
I'm gonna say it like this. At the end of the day, we're hearing, at least from me, and the most frustrating part for me is hearing people justify Devin Haney's last performance to say, yeah, we can give him a pass on fighting like that because there was another fight ahead. No, as a professional fighter, you signed a contract. You're an entertainer, you're a sports entertainer. So what was the entertainment value in looking at that performance? Absolute zero. It actually fucks up his stats because that was the least jabs he ever threw and the least accurate amount of jabs he's ever thrown. The least amount of punches he's ever thrown. You feel what I'm saying? So when people are telling me you did this for that, then the shit backfired if you ask me. Because if I was in a positive and things like that going into the fight, and then I give you that performance, and now I'm at what some fans at either plus minus, which means they just have questions, And some people are like, oh, hell no. That's where I am as being a longtime fan of the dude. Like, bro, no. That is no way where near acceptable. For the fighter that I know you are, you were supposed to go in there and just style on this dude. Stay in the pocket. Do what Shakur did to Patty. And that was on 2 weeks. Dude, you didn't give me what Shakur did to Patty. That's fucking pathetic, bro.
Or what Arnold Barbosa did to Jose Ramirez. That would be the better. I understand what you're saying, but a better analogy would be the guy right before, because the guy you got to take in consideration. Jose Ramirez was just coming off of a loss. Before that, it was a bunch of inactivity. They already said the man was drinking and all that, but Arnold Barbosa just literally washed him. Like, if you look at the two performances, Arnold Barbosa, who got washed by Tio the same night Devin put in that performance with Jose Ramirez, that last fight before that, Arnold Barbosa washed him. Like, he made Arnold Barbosa look like, damn, like this dude might really, you know what I'm saying? It might be
back.
Time. Yeah. So I'm like, so when I saw the performance, I'm like, if it's supposed to be levels and all that, that's just talk, man. Because with a guy like Jose Ramirez, man, you supposed to go in there and put a demo down. You ain't supposed to just go in there just like you want some challenge. You know them challenges where they be like, all right, we'll see if you can like on some entrapment, like when she was going over the laser beams and trying to grab. Like, come on, man, you supposed to go in there and knock shit out the park if it's levels. Well, because what would Floyd do? The one that you always being compared to. What would Floyd do?
Floyd would just win. I think we get away from the fact that Devin went in there to win. Like I said, Devin showed y'all his footwork. He showed y'all he had better defense, and he put Jose Ramirez in the hospital. And his percentage of hitting Jose Ramirez, was higher than everybody else's that weekend. I think we get away from that because you guys are focused on, oh, Devin shouldn't do this, but he was undefensive. He was defensively irresponsible in the last fight. So this fight, he's responsible and he's moving around. He's not just standing in front of him. So we have a problem with it. What we need to get to the basis of the thing is, it doesn't matter what Devin had did. Everybody was going to have a complaint about it anyway. So just do what Al Davis say, baby, and just win. Just win. And I heard somebody say that dropped his stock. The man is making what? He making how many millions this fight? And we all going to tune in to the next fight after this.
I said his stats, not his stock. I said his stats.
Okay, well, that's my
punch stats. He had.
Now watch this. I apologize. I took that wrong, but I cleared that up in the statement I made earlier. He had the highest punching percentage that night. Look it up. You don't got to ask how. Look it up. You can Google. It's free. You got a smartphone. Do something smart with it.
Well, he almost set a record. Ooh, what punch percentage? You talking about connect rate? Like what percentage?
If you look up the connect ratio of that night, Devin Haney had the best percentage of that night with punches landed. It's Google. It's you can just Google that.
So that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I know what you're doing. I'm just giving you.
I know, for a fight where you almost set a record for the least amount of punches, but you got the highest. Like, come on.
Bro. Yeah, because at the end of the day, this was. Remember after the fight, and I said, yeah, you're gonna get these fans that are gonna come out here.
Oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, I said you're gonna get these fans that's gonna come out here, right? And he's and you talking to
he's a Devin Haney fan, by the way.
You're talking to a hardcore Devin Haney fan.
So he says, but go ahead though, AC, because I think I was on Art Man's channel with you.
I'm saying it like this. I said the fact that they're gonna pull the fact that because the amount of punches that he actually landed, although it was the fewest, when you look at the connect ratio of some of those lesser fighters who were just exchanging and just throwing jabs and just fighting, I said, yeah, when you look at the connect rate, Devin Haney will have the highest connect rate. But he also put out the last thing, and I said, watch these weird-ass fans come out and try to use that as a talking point to say he had the best performance of the night.
Young man, what do you mean weird-ass fans? Like, bro, are you talking about me? I ain't disrespect you, brother. Like, what you talking about?
No, I'm not disrespecting you. How you feel that way?
Because since I said
to me, that's a weird thing to try to pull to me, where I'm from. So as long as I've been watching boxing.
Cool. So let me move on now. As we move on to the Brian Norman fight now, because I ain't gonna get nowhere with that with you, brother. I'm as fresh to this channel, brother. It is what it is. I respect the host. I respect the channel. The thing is about this. Brian Norman has fought the weakest opposition. When you're fighting dudes that's 7-66, 9-55, whatever, and these dudes you come knocking out has already double-digit losses. They have no experiences in the ring. The guys you didn't knock out was some old quote-unquote boxers. Quentin Randall, who you should have stopped, was 33, only had 13 fights with less experience. You fought a dude that was 9-1. You didn't knock him out. Where does the power go? You fought Jin Saki that was passed around the top-ranked gym like a Hennessy bottle in the hood. Knocked him out. Jin Saki's a nobody. Well, we have to understand that this is the biggest challenge of Brian Norman's life with Devin Haney. There is levels to this shit. Now, can somebody stop me when I'm lying? Besides Ryan Garcia, didn't Devin Haney break everybody's ribs that he just fought?
Say that again.
Didn't Devin Haney break every opponent's ribs that he fought besides Ryan Garcia? From Cambosa's on up?
Where do you get this from?
All you got to do is Google it.
I don't know, man. Like, bro, I don't.
We got smartphones. Let's do something
Google
smart with it. If I'm lying,
Google
just Google it. He sent them everybody to the hospital. We all knew for sure Loma had broken ribs. That was a positive for sure. We sent Ramirez to the hospital. You seen him in the NTA. He sent Regis on about his way too to the hospital. So there's the power go. Now let's talk about Devin Haney's speed, accuracy, punch placement, and defense. And then I segue to myself to Quentin Randall's because they ain't on the same level, but we just talking about boxers.
Didn't he UD Quentin Randall?
You say what?
Didn't he UD Quentin Randall?
Yeah, he UD. We was talking about his power though, and how come he didn't knock Quentin Randall out, but he's supposed to have this knockout power? Like, what's up? And we still got to talk about his resume as well. Why are you fighting dudes 1-60?
Can I just read to you? Being that you want to
talk to me, brother,
technology, I'm just gonna quote you. I Googled it, like you said, and I'm gonna read it to you. There is no official record or widely reported information of any professional boxer who had their ribs broken by Devin Haney during a fight. Where do you get these facts from?
Well, I can tell you you're dead wrong because the whole
Oh, I'm wrong. You just said Google it and I read Google.
Okay, hold on, brother. Okay. Hold on, brother. Hold on, I got you. Cause I know you a little excited, bro.
Oh,
this was naturally reported that Lomachenko got his ribs broken, bro. I don't know if you behind them doors or if you talk to them people behind the scenes, but everybody knew Devin broke Lomachenko's ribs. That was
there is no official record or widely reported information of any.
I guess you didn't get the medical records, brother. But we ain't got to let's move on. Okay, fine.
The medical records would be
for sure.
The medical
records don't show because it's a HIPAA law.
Information.
That's a HIPAA law. You cannot disclose. That's a HIPAA law.
An official record. Yes or no?
It's a HIPAA law.
Let me ask you a question.
You can't disclose anybody's medical information. But behind the scenes, boxers and coaches and those people behind the scenes that talk to these boxers and promoters and these coaches know that Lomachenko's ribs was broke, but let's laugh about it, but we know it's the truth.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So which one is private and which one is Googleable? Because we trying to. What did you want us to Google?
The whole HIPAA law. Okay, are you guys familiar with the HIPAA law?
Yeah.
No, I used to sell insurance. I'm saying, what did you want us to Google, bro?
Okay, well, if it's not on Google, you guys need to reach out a little bit more to some of these fighters and some of these coaches, and y'all can get the inside scoop. We all seen Loma go to the hospital and Devin go party after that.
Okay.
This is a fact. We talk to the guys behind the scenes. So if it ain't, okay, let's get back to the Brian Norman since, you know what I'm saying, whatever. It don't matter. I guess I'm lying. I guess the people behind the scenes is lying and the coaches and the boxers or whatever, they're lying too. So, okay, let's move on to the Brian Norman.
I'm just saying medical records would be official.
It's the HIPAA law.
Stuff. Hold on, let me finish.
HIPAA law, you cannot get past HIPAA.
You gotta let me finish.
Don't waste your breath.
I can kind of inform you on some things that I think you're kind of missing.
The HIPAA law, you cannot go past the HIPAA law. Don't waste your breath,
brother. What I'm gonna say is short. All I'm saying is this: when other fighters got really beat up bad and had things broken and or whatever, when they went to the hospital, we heard reports about that. So HIPAA laws I don't know how they apply when it comes down to once you sign a boxing contract, and then everything, your name and your likeness and all of that stuff is bound by this contract. So any and all information relative or related to the fight it can be disclosed, and your HIPAA joint doesn't affect that because you signed a contract relieving yourself of that. Because in the contract that it has language like that. It has language like that when you actually sign the contract. So all I'm saying to you, my friend, is this: when we've seen in the past fighters seriously get hurt, seriously have ruptured whatever, internal bleeding or brain damage or whatever, that's public information. It becomes public information. So that's why I'm just asking, is a medical record an official report?
Like I say, I understand what you just said about all the contracts and all of that, brother. HIPAA laws, but it doesn't matter when it comes to the HIPAA law, because the HIPAA law takes precedence over everything else unless you release that to be seen to anybody. That's what I'm telling you about the HIPAA law.
And that's what I just said. You release that when you sign that contract.
Wait a minute.
Your name,
no.
everything.
That's if I go. Listen to me,
brother.
If you can hear, brother, listen to me. If I went to the hospital and I can say, hey, only person know my information is my brother, Bodywork boxing. That's the only person that can know my information. That's the only people they take it to. Like I say, we're in bed with the boxers and the coaches. So this was spread all around the industry. Like, you got people that literally next to the Devin Haney camp can call Bill and Dev up right now, like, hey, woo, woo, woo. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not a lie. But the HIPAA laws are HIPAA laws. And my man that sells insurance can tell you, you cannot bypass that. I don't care who you are.
You can bypass
the law.
it if you can bypass it if you sign a contract.
Oh my God. Brother, you cannot bypass the HIPAA law.
Salute, man. I appreciate that. He said flag on the play, HIPAA law. It's actually the Health Information Portability Act. That's what it actually is, and it's 2 A's. But his HIPAA law is hiding broken barbecue ribs.
Yeah, it's any medical condition.
Okay,
it's
all right,
any medical condition.
Look, so we don't get caught up in minutia. This ain't we don't really do that here, right?
Okay, no problem, brother. My fault.
But this is what I want to say.
Go ahead.
Lomachenko, he got a 65.5-inch reach. When they got in the ring, right? When they first got in the ring and Devin was in the ring with him before the fight, like the same thing that Shakur tried to do when he was in the ring, and they were trying to create that moment where they was in the ring, like the ceremonial stuff to where they in the ring together and they're gonna announce it or have some footage to go back on when they build it up. When him and Loma got in the ring, Loma looked at it and said, "Oh, he's a middleweight." So what we're saying is the things that he was able to do down at 35 to a lot of them guys where he had the height, the reach, the activity, more athleticism, all of those things, he's not going to be able to do that with somebody that got a 72-inch reach, meaning that instantly when he's in range to hit, he's already in range to be hit. So he's fighting a natural. He's coming up and he's telling Brian Norman, you're too small already, and he just got the welterweight. So
Jose Ramirez has the same measurements as Brian Norman, and we've seen what happened. Jose Ramirez has a 72 as well, and Devin Haney have a 7'1".
We just talked about how Jose Ramirez just got washed by Arnold Barboza.
That's fine. Okay, he got whooped on, but Oscar De La Hoya picked Jose Ramirez for Devin Haney, and there was a lot of dudes thinking that Jose Ramirez was going to beat Devin Haney up. That was a fact.
Hold on.
I'll wait. Go ahead. I'll wait.
No, because Devin decides who he fights.
Devin wanted to fight Ryan Garcia.
And Devin always chooses. It's up to Devin. Like, they're trying to even make it seem like Devin is giving Brian Norman an opportunity this time. So I can't let that
Brian Norman's name was on that list. What are you talking about? He gave him a list, and the top 5 didn't want to fight, so Brian Norman's name was next.
Okay, don't jump around on me. Let's stick one point. I like to stick with one point at a time, right? Let's nail it down. So what I'm saying is, we can't let you slide on the fact that somebody else picked Jose Ramirez. Devin and them.
Oscar De La Hoya.
But Devin chose that.
No, Oscar De La Hoya chose it. Because Devin wasn't even supposed to be on the card. Devin wasn't supposed to be on that card, but Turkey Al Sheikh said we're not going to make it unless Devin Haney's on this card. So Oscar De La Hoya had a list of people, and Jose Ramirez's name was on there. So Oscar picked him, not Devin. Devin Haney can't go through the Golden Boy promotion catalog and say, "Oh, I want to fight this person." No, that was of Oscar De La Hoya's doing. So blame Oscar for picking the unified champion, the former unified champion, to fight Devin Haney, who people thought was going to stop Devin Haney because he supposedly had PTSD, yet no doctor on earth diagnosed him with it.
And there is no doctor that in boxing, what we know is this. We find out the damages to a boxer because of their suspension. So through the suspension and finding out the reasons why they were suspended, you tend to find out what the medical condition is. If you chat GPT,
which would be wrong, so don't really deal with them like that.
Okay, so if you chat GPT the same question, it says this, and it's the second point it makes. In his fight versus Lomachenko, Haney landed a body shot, but nothing reliable sources suggest ribs were broken. In his fight versus Zoran Abdullaev, which I watched, and I say that after that fight, Devin Haney changed, due to a fracture injury, a possible cheekbone fracture, not ribs. So at the end of the day, bro, I'm just saying.
Okay.
When you make bold statements like that, I'm
gonna make another one and stand on it. Like I said, when you're close to the boxers and you can call in and call Bill Haney and them, and you can call, you get inside information. Whatever you read
online rumors.
I'm almost done, brother. I'm almost done, brother. Like I say, when you can call and you can get them conversations, then you'll understand that whatever you choose to release out your medical, you released it. Just like we didn't know what was going on with Earl Spence, and everybody was like, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with him, ain't nothing wrong with him." And Earl said, "I'm gonna go get the doctor's note," and showed everybody the doctor's note. Earl went and got that. You couldn't look it up. Earl went and got that. So what are you saying again?
Like I said,
you didn't say nothing.
When fighters are on medical suspension, the reasons for their medical suspension is disclosed. The fourth point, if you chat GPT your question, online rumors, comments suggest Haney threw rib-breaking punches in training and sparring, but sparring stories are not official professional fights. This is AI saying this.
Hold on, bro.
This is not me. I'm just reading it off of.
Chat GPT has been wrong before because me and Norman Sr. got into it over Chat GPT, and I'm gonna tell you what Chat GPT told me, and we both knew that was wrong. Chat GPT said it was guys that went 12 rounds with Brian Norman. We sat there and said, hold on, that's lying because Brian Norman ain't never went 12 rounds. And that's the same Chat GPT.
Okay.
You gonna call me a liar on that?
Huh? That's what we're gonna do, man. We gonna let you have, we gonna let you give your commercial for whatever it is you wanted to get off, man, and then we gonna move on. Go say whatever it is you got to say, bro.
Oh, I'm just gonna talk about the Norman Haney fight. Well, Norman has to understand he's coming there with somebody's bigger than him, quicker than him, maybe stronger than him, higher IQ than him, better footwork than him, better resume than him. When you got guys that on Devin Haney's resume that he's fought and he's beat, those guys eclipse who Brian Norman beat. Yes, Brian Norman has a power punch. Yes, he has put people to sleep. But there's guys that went the distance with Brian Norman. Now you have guys that Devin Haney stopped. He stopped 15 fighters. And Devin Haney has a high, when I say high, is a very high UD ratio of winning fights. The thing is, if you go back to the Jen Sasaki fight, let's talk about the left hands Jen Sasaki landed in the first round. Had Brian Norman hurt to where he drops his hands every time Brian Norman is hurt. Brian Norman has no gas tank. That's why he leans on the rope, i.e., centillion fight, i.e., majority of his fight, he'll land on the ropes, tell you to come to him because he's taking breath. 2, when Brian Norman throws shots, Brian Norman comes off his feet and he throws those shots. You can feint Brian Norman to death and catch him. He's too twitchy. And when I mean twitchy, you will move a muscle, and he'll try to do that jump hook that Joe Frazier used to do. You can time him and catch him there. Now we know Brian Norman fights flat-footed, come forward Mexicans. If you pay attention to his fights, you will see that clear as day. Then I'll hold off on the rest of that I gotta say because I'm a guest and I don't want to take over. So I'm gonna go on mute.
No, that's it, man. That's it. That's all we had. So that's all we really got, man. You got anything else you want to say?
Thank you so much for letting me come on your panel, man. I'm gonna definitely give you a sub on this one, and I appreciate your time. We're gonna have a good fight card tomorrow, man. Let the best man win out of those cards. If I may, I think I got Benavidez winning, I got Haney winning, I got Abdullah Mesa winning, and I got Bam Bam Rodriguez winning, and Bam Bam having the performance of the night. Thank you so much, though, brother. I appreciate you.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it. All right, man.
For sure.
Yeah, no slick, Nick, no counter, man. I don't really like dialoguing with nobody where you I don't like dialoguing like that with people. Like you can't stick to one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're gonna be effective, we gotta go in order. We gotta address one thing at a time. Cause as soon as you have somebody right there, they move on to something else and to something else. I don't got time. The show will be like 1,000 years. It'll be 1,000 points made that I don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about none of them points. For real. I don't care. Like I know that you're dealing with somebody that's a natural. You're dealing with somebody that's a natural welterweight. Been fighting there. It's the same questions we have like right now when we break down David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, for example. We are saying that, like what I'm saying, I'll speak for myself. I am saying that we don't know if David Benavidez's power fully translated. Like it's not the same as when he was at 68. We can note that Caleb Plant went the distance, right? We don't know where Caleb Plant punch resistance is now. We know that since he's been up there at 175, the power don't look the same, because when he fought David Morrell up there, right? David Morrell was also a guy that was moving up from 68. We know that Anthony Yarde, he's been a light heavyweight. We know David Benavidez, he typically has a gas tank. Him and Sabril, they got some of the best gas tanks in the business. They are accumulation, high volume punchers, right? They wear you down. His hand speed is probably faster than what you think when you get in there with him. His head movement is faster than what you think when you get in there with him. I'm talking about David Benavidez. The question mark is, for a guy like Anthony Yarde, who's already been at light heavyweight, taking on punches and the two guys he lost to, they were actually power punchers. They can thump. The question is, as David Benavidez goes and he's going up against this natural guy, because we saw it with Volzdek, how Volzdek wasn't reacting the same way as everybody else. And David Benavidez didn't step on the gas like he do with everybody else, especially toward the end. It's almost like he made a business decision. And that's a natural light heavyweight. Anthony Yarde is a natural light heavyweight. So what happens when in that fight where David Benavidez is doing this thing, doing what he normally do, and Anthony Yarde's punch resistance is way better than what he expected, and he's either eating them like Skittles or it's not affecting them like everybody else? Is he going to be in trouble? Let's switch this over to Brian Norman, the natural welterweight. Even though we know Devin should be up at 154. We know that. So he got in there with Lomachenko. Since they brought that up, that fight could have went either way. I had Devin edging it because Lomachenko got cocky, and toward the end, he kind of took off the last one. He needed to step on the gas. Devin went to the body early in that fight, but he was dealing with a guy who, when he first looked at him, said, oh, this guy is a middleweight. The dimensions was different. Devin was taller. way longer reach than him, and he can get away with doing things on guys like that he can't get away with doing somebody that's his height and his reach, a la Ryan, where the advantages are a little more equal. Devin has been getting away with jumping in, hitting, doing his work, moving. When he go to come in, as soon as he comes in to be able to deliver his shit, he's already in range to get hit. Why? Because Brian Norman's reach is longer than Devin's. He's not going to be afforded that same in and out. When he's in range to attack, he can already be attacked. He's already in danger. He's already punching with a guy that's a natural welterweight, getting punched by guys like Boy Chico, who you know got power. Quentin Randall, he might not have power. He can box, but they say outbox and this and this and that. Even though he UD'd the guy. What are we talking about? I don't be knowing what we talking about.
Yeah, and can I come in with this, Body? Just to be clear, right? Just to be clear. We, the thing that had me constantly pulling up and gravitating towards this channel, because what Body always said before a lot of this, we deal in fact-based content.
Fact-based content.
So Brian Norman has had 4 12-round fights. He hasn't gone the distance in any of his 12-round fights, right? He made the statement about something that was on ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT. Who went 12 rounds with Brian Norman Jr.? Simple question to ask. If ChatGPT was wrong, they would have gave me a wrong answer or a name. We didn't hear a name. We just heard statements. I couldn't find any professional boxer who went 12 rounds with Brian Norman Jr. According to his record, his decision win included a 10-round unanimous decision over Quentin Randall.
Right.
His other notable fights, example versus Giovanni Santillan, ended by knockout before 12 rounds. His BoxRec summary lists 0 losses and only 100 recorded professional rounds so far, suggesting he hasn't had a 12-round fight yet. So at the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. And this is where I was saying when I was talking back then, which he wanted to take it personal because I guess he was one of those fans that tried to find that silver lining in that thunderstorm cloud and saying, well, he had the highest knockout rate. Yeah, probably. I mean, he had the highest punch rate. Yeah, because even if you play a game, the less shots you take compared to the shots of everybody else who's actually playing the game, you're going to have the highest stats because each shot you took actually ended in a kill, especially if you have a sniper rifle. So what I'm saying here is this. You can make statements. You can get braggadocious and say Google things. Guess what? I will do that. As Bodywork's co-host, you know, he may engage in a conversation, and if I'm sitting there muted up and quiet, I will Google that to make sure we're on facts. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there is no evidence of Devin Haney breaking anybody ribs and him being known as pillow fisted. I don't know how the fuck that shit happens. Number 2, his comment about ChatGPT being wrong. It's right on 2 occasions. If someone wants to type in a question for me to ask ChatGPT, I'll do it to see if we 3 for 3. So all I'm saying is this is where the fights tend to get weird. We're trying to come to a good conclusion of everything and saying, yeah, over the course of the promotions, over the course of when the fight was announced, there was a whole show dedicated to Devin Haney manning up and taking this fight. And we were at that point, we were like, I don't know, this is just crazy. Then we did a follow-up show that we said, okay, how do we see the fight? And from that follow-up show, I stayed consistent in what I'm saying. And I said, if we go back and we look at Devin Haney's last 3 performances, last 2 performances, last performance, what we're left is recency bias. And recency bias is going to dictate that you're not ready for Brian Norman. And then when we start to look at fight breakdowns and then look at stylistically what he's done, put both the fighters under the microscope, then it was plausible to say there's a high probability you're going to get stopped in this fight. Then you hear Brian Norman say, I'm not trying to let this fight go to the judges. I don't trust the judges. I got 2 judges right here. Then we're following a consistent thread. And that consistent thread is paying dividends as we go along. Me personally, I think old boy was just sent in here to try to disrupt it, because we've seen in many instances that the talking points that were mentioned here wind up on many different platforms.
Yeah.
Like platforms that are just way too high for it to be somewhat of a coincidence, because you're saying the line verbatim. You may say a word verbatim, but the entire line, the lead up to it, the breakdown of it, that's when it gets a little weird. And right now, I think he was a mole sent in here to try to disrupt this, because the talking point are desperate to try to sway by the time the fight happens to put Dev back in the back at top to where he's the favorite, because that's a talking point for them. That's a talking point that gives Devin Haney confidence. And that's where I just wanted to end it. That's my public service.
It's interesting because I'm at a point, this is what was frustrating to me, because I thought that this was going to be a time for everybody to come out and give their final thoughts and basically put, stand on what they say as far as the record being the record. Like right now, but if you notice, it says all of the talking is done. The weigh-in is done. Next up, the Devin Haney era is almost done. Devin's fate is in Brian Norman's hands now. That's what I said. So I don't care whose ribs he broke. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 fights ago, 4 fights ago. We saw him, because what was on record in that Lomachenko fight was him going back to the corner saying, Dad, I think he figured me out. Like, that's on record. We don't gotta Google that shit. We can go back and look at the fight, and we can see at a point in time where he said, Dad, I think he figured me out. We can see the images, because they had memes where his head was sideways and that fro had stretched out and juice was flowing from that shit. Because Lomachenko was in there knocking his head around like a motherfucking tetherball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He impressed me because he went to Lomachenko's body earlier, and that was the talking point of mine. Why? Because this is bodywork boxing. I say the key to any fight is going to the body, but I said, hey, listen, if you want to slow somebody down that's going to be doing all that moving, go to the body. It's science.
Yeah, it's proven.
So I don't want to get caught up, because I've been one of them people that I have not flip-flopped. I have not played the political game with Devin. I know come out just because I know it's a lot of fans that say, oh man, let me speak highly of Devin today and tomorrow. Like, no, I put them all on the scales. So this has been a long time coming, and this is the same grade that I use when it comes down to judging Boots, when I'm judging Shakur, judging Tank. One of the reasons why the curve is graded a little heavier on Tank, why? Because he's always at these disadvantages. We've seen him line up against a Mario Barrios, where he had to do and show a skill to negate somebody's jab. He had to paw at the jab. That was a tactic that you start seeing people use. It's just like when people it's like when people started talking more about what David Benavidez did to David Morrell. How he was raking down the glove, he was peeling the guard down and then doing it. People started talking about it because he demonstrated a skill in a fight to show that if I'm in this situation and I gotta overcome this is what I can do. That's a skill. What I'm trying to say about the whole Devin and Norman thing is he benefited from being down here with these smaller guys. And I was saying, man, that might come around and bite you in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you have all these advantages. What are you going to do when it's lesser talent, but they're your size and they have the punch resistance because they've been getting punched on by people at that weight class already? Nobody can tell me how he's going to overcome that. Just like I say, if David Benavidez start hitting Anthony Yard and them punches ain't got nothing on it, Anthony Yard don't respect it, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm just at a point where I'm not going to bet against David Benavidez because he's put me in so many positions to where he had an opponent that I thought Mike can win, and every time I was wrong. So I'm like, I ain't betting against David Benavidez. He is a monster. You know what I'm saying? I just think that I'm not going to negate my analysis based on everything I know in that fight. I got to bring that to the table. I'm applying that same thing to Devin. And everybody want to get caught up on the history and, oh, you're not respecting him and he was this and he was that. It's like, okay, but are y'all looking at what actually was happening in these fights? Do y'all know it was a one-way rehydration clause on Regis where he could rehydrate to whatever he wanted to where that fight shouldn't even took place? Google that. The athletic commission could have stopped that fight from even happening. Regis is just a G and he didn't say nothing about it. So that's the fight. That's the fight before Ryan when he got the belt. So we got the fight with Lomachenko, which he passed because Lomachenko said, you know what, he got too cocky, thinking he had it in the bag. Devin banked rounds early. Lomachenko had his surge like he always do. He came back late and then he thought he had it in the bag, didn't step on the gas in the 12th. Left room for Devin to you know what I'm saying, do what he needed to do. And Devin closed that fight. But a lot of people is still divided. I had Devin edging it, but a lot of people had Loma winning. Yeah. You go to the next performances when he had the one-way rehydration. Looked stellar. Made me eat the biggest plate of crow in my life. Next to Carlos Adames and him beating Hamza Shiraz. That was the second biggest plate of crow I had. Where I was like totally against the saying, there's no way, this is my guy, and they proved me wrong. I did not know it was a one-way rehydration clause with Regis. If that in your mind, if you still want to stunt and style that you are one of them people that where when the Seahawks started winning and they came back and they had a Legion of Boom, you was probably one of them people that jumped on that bandwagon. I'm not a bandwagon just because somebody's winning. I'm a real Eagles fan because I've been had this like way before the Super Bowl. This is old. This is like 9-10 years old. I've been a fan. I ain't just jump on it. I'm not a bandwagon type person. So if it don't change your mind or influence or prick your thoughts to say, oh, hold on, man, that's why Regis looked like that? Because he couldn't rehydrate the way he wanted to and Devin could? Who does that? Yeah. That's that shit I talked about the other day when I said the Gladiator, when he poked Buddy up under the rib before the fight even started and you didn't know he was internally bleeding the whole time he was fighting. Like that I don't respect shit like that. So it made me look at that performance different. Then he get in there with Ryan. Okay, well, now these advantages are mixed. They was 3-3. Ryan happened to get 3 fights during a time where Devin's style as an amateur would have benefited him more than it benefited Ryan. Why? Because Ryan had pop. Ryan even said he gave him a standing 8 count. But they were 3-3. That was game 7. So in game 7, we see Ryan do what he did to Devin and then this adverse osterine. So we got to throw that out. But we saw that he said that the left hook surprised him.
Yeah, that
was his main weapon.
Yeah, that's that conversation that me and you had offline when you gave the example of, you know, everybody that fought Wilder.
Yeah, like everybody.
Could you go into a fight and fight Wilder, and then after let's just say it was Ortiz, and then you say, so Ortiz, did the right hand surprise you? Yeah, mucho. You know, he just start talking in Spanish and shit like that, saying, yeah, that right hand surprised me a lot. You know, so I'm like, when you ask it like that, and sometimes, you know, as a fan of a fighter, you it's always best to listen to both sides, the guys that don't like your fighter and the guys that do like your fighter in your opinion, because the guys that don't like your fighter will probably point out things that you just let go by because you're just a fan of that person and you just don't think of it as a big deal when you look at the whole package. You'll be like, yeah, but you know, and then you'll start to rationalize these things. And this is where you'll find yourself, and like you hear some boxing analysts say things like this, like, there's a widespread cognitive dissonance when it comes down to certain fighters, because you don't want to take certain things in accountability. So you're in an internal thing. You're like, somebody points it out to you, and then you're saying, yeah, but it was, and then the final way you rationalize it is by bringing up HEPA laws. So so it's just like, you can be one of those guys. We've already identified these type of fan bases. We've already, we had a good portion of a show identifying the fan bases. Like, who are you? Where do you stand as a fan? Are you a fan of the fighter that will not criticize them at all? And it's, on this channel, Body will call them, the only fans. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're a fan to only that person, and everybody else is shit compared to that person, no matter what weight class they're in. Mm-hmm. If you're one of them, or you could be a fans of fighters like me and Body. We have our favorite fighters, but we still will put them under the microscope in big fights. I
got one that's brewing, AC. I got one that's brewing already. Like, look, because I like Richardson Hitchens, right?
Yeah.
And Richardson Hitchens been talking a lot of smack, and I'm just like, man, Rich, run your race. But you know how I feel. I feel like him and Devin are like two different sides of the same coin. But I thought that on that coin, I always edged Richardson for being better. I think he's more coordinated. I think he punches a little bit harder. I always lean towards Devin as far as Devin goes to the body more than Richardson. But I think Richardson just now pretty much done showed with the Cambosis that, hey, I know I got to invest to that body, and I can't get caught up because now I'm at a point to where I got to perform. Yeah. So it's going to make him take a little more risk, and that was the whole thing. I thought that maybe Richardson, it's not that he had a born style, it's just he got to take a little bit more risk because he was getting more drops. He pretty much almost dropped all of his opponents. Like, it was a couple people he didn't, like, he had a hard time with Gustavo Lemos, but I considered the fact that he didn't come in and shrink down to 35, and he also, when he went for a title, he did it under the IBF with the rehydration. You have to consider that. But a lot of people write him off, even though that's a legit point, because you got to consider that. If not, Baccarat would have been had a fight. Because people say, why didn't Virgil do it? Because of the 10-pound rehydration. So why? Because that makes everything even to where it's like it's going to be more of an even playing field. The people that's in that IBF are the people that fights closer to that natural weight or stay in shape, because you can't balloon up and go down. It's going to perfect your performance, and those belts are going to pop off of you. So this is what's happening. Richardson Hitchens is looking at this whole thing, and he's saying, I want the winner. And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, wow, man, that'll be dangerous because you'll see him at 47. But Richardson Hitchens can do it. He could probably do it because of his skill set. Yeah. I still think it's a very dangerous fight, but he's going to be inserted in that equation regardless of the results. He had been calling out Devin Haney. I didn't even know it was history between him and Brian Norman in sparring.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know.
Brand new to me.
So I didn't know that. So now it will be a whole different analysis when I go down the break. If what I think is going to happen, Brian Norman knock Devin the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that happens, then it's going to switch over to me analyzing Richardson Hitchens against Brian Norman, and we're going to do this all over again. Well, I'm going to have to analyze everything, although I know that Richardson Hitchens has more command of using his reach, being disciplined, being a pure boxer. You know what I'm saying? Will his chin hold up? We don't know. We didn't see what happened with the Ryan fight. We've never seen that happen with Richardson. We saw him under the IBF rehydration go life and death with Gustavo Lemos when they was fighting an eliminator. We saw that, but he never got dropped. But it was under the IBF where he was weak already.
Yeah.
So a hydrated guy, like, so that's going to be a whole different analysis. And I'm not going to get caught up in the fact that, oh, Richardson is talking shit to Brian Norman, even though I like Brian Norman and I like Richard Hitchens. I want to see the fight.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the same thing the next time when I analyze them. Or if Devin make me eat a big-ass plate of crow, a bucket of crow, and he happens to pull this off, I'm going to have to analyze if they're going to give Richardson Hitchens a shot. I'm going to have to analyze Richardson Hitchens versus Devin Haney. Already been doing it because Richardson Hitchens been calling out Devin Haney. People just was like, man, shut your black ass up, putting them to, like, belittling him, acting like he ain't nothing. Now he went up to champion status. Now he can't be denied. But guess what? Richardson Hitchens never fought somebody with an upside-down record. And this guy, he jumps up here talking about, oh, fighting guys that's 2-70-something. You must ain't see all them guys that was on Devin's resume because their resumes are damn near the same. They both started off fighting guys in Mexico. But when it happened for Devin, it was cool. Oh, he was just making his name. And yeah, it's tough down in Mexico. You wouldn't go down. But when it's Brian Norman, oh, it's, man, you fighting people with upside down records. But there's no saying or whatever, since we can't Google this, there's no saying that Brian Norman was over there paying people to get losses scrubbed. That it is a notion that Devin did that. So if we're gonna be honest and keep it a buck about these fighters, we gotta do it all the way. That's why I appreciate the way AC is, because he is a diehard Devin Haney fan. He's saying that this is bittersweet for him. So where it's like everything that he's seeing is saying this is all wrong for Devin. And if what I think happens to Devin, he's saying he's gonna be sad. Like it's gonna be like, damn, that's fucked up, because that's his guy. Like how Tank, my guy, that's his guy.
Yeah.
But he keeps it objective. That's why we can have conversations and they go somewhere. Because he's just not gonna be like, oh well, did you see what Devin did to Regis, without considering what was going on in that fight, without considering that Jose Ramirez just got washed by Honor Barbosa, without considering that Devin was going to try to go get Teofimo Lopez's belt by fighting Honor Barbosa when they thought Teo would return. Like, we consider these things.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to, if you're a fan of the fighter, if you're a real fan of the fighter, you look at it like this. Certain fights you look at, you'll say, God damn, man, this is a good fight. You know, there's a real possibility that my guy could lose this fight if he doesn't do this, and that. And you make these things up in your head and stuff like that. And then when you hear them talking, you're seeing little clips and snippets. And I always give the caveat when I talk about the training videos. I say, look, I don't like to put too much into the training videos because they're just a snapshot of what that person was working on, or what they want you to see. You feel what I'm saying? They may be working on something completely different. But I said, if I had to string together all the training films of Devin Haney versus Brian Norman, I see Brian Norman doing the things that I gave as my keys to victory for Devin Haney to win. And I'm just sitting there like, if this is what you're putting out as your training, and you're showing us that you're gonna plant yourself and you're gonna throw these punches and stuff like that, why are you making that game plan for that guy? Mm-hmm. And you're gonna tell me it's levels to this stuff, but then you made the point of saying, well, if a baby hits you right, it'll hurt. Y'all saying this dude is trash. You don't think in that whole entire fight, the whole 36 minutes, he's not gonna catch Devin with something? With something?
Exactly. Like, he gonna be in there like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's delusion, man.
Like, and that's the part of me that's having me like in a position to where I'm a fan of his, and I'm like, you know what? My guy got to get his ass kicked in this one, because I don't know if anything straightens out this delusion that just keeps being portrayed every time you fight. And some of it is actual facts because we're looking at your opponent and we're looking at the numbers and everything else. You got the size, reach, experience. You're younger. Okay, this is your fight. I'm not even gonna be weird and goofy and pick against you. I picked Devin to beat Lomachenko. You feel what I'm saying? And I picked him to beat Lomachenko because of basically Bill constantly exposing to the world during the Lomachenko jump offs that we've been chasing you for 5 years. Y'all just, y'all just don't be answering the phone and stuff like that. And Loma Pops was like, you just gotta, when you get on the phone, you just gotta be respectable to us. So when it comes down to shit like that, it's like, okay, I rocked with Devin on that victory, and I was happy that he got the victory. But I also understood that in that fight, if I go back to Loma versus Rigondeaux, in the fight he had with Devin, everything was straight. Straight punches, straight movement, circle, 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 and then darting. Pop, 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 pop. Straight punches. The hooks and the other punches, I didn't see him, so I was like, this is a different Loma. This is not the Loma that I seen like being a Matrix and give you those, like the closest fighter I could say, because Loma's retired, is like those Bam Rodriguez angles where he's in the high guard and he's just slipping up, bam, bam, catch you, whoop, bow, hook you, slide back under, bow, straight that broke your guard. That Loma wasn't in the ring with Devin Haney. That was a much older Loma. That was worried about what the fuck was going on in this country. Let's keep that in mind. So at the end of the day, man, I still gave him the Loma victory, but this one, out of all the fights, and I'm gonna double and triple down on it. Now that everything is done, all the talk is done. People, this is the first fight in Devin Haney's career that I'm picking against him and picking that he's gonna get stopped. And I'm pretty much saying it's gonna happen before the 5th. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even earlier than that. On the other thing, his pops or him is gonna quit in this fight.
I mean, this the thing, man. Like it's weird because it's almost like when somebody got a type. See, Devin had a type, and his type was always older. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
a little battle tested, sharp worn. He has a history of fighting guys coming off of not so great performances. So it's been calculated. Like when you look at it, like when you look at Ramirez, who did Ramirez fight before he fought Devin? Oh, he got washed by Arnold Barbosa. Okay, cool. Who did Regis fight before he fought Devin? Oh, he got dropped twice by Zarilla. Oh, okay, but he got the nod and it was in his hometown, but he stunk up the joint. Who did Loma fight before he fought Devin? He fought Jermaine Ortiz, and he arguably, a lot of people say he arguably lost that fight. Jermaine Ortiz arguably beat T.O. and Loma, but he didn't get the nod because of the business of boxing. So when you look at these things, when did he fight Gamboa? He fought Gamboa after he got stopped in the fight in the 11th round by Tank, and Tank made him pop his Achilles in like the second or third round. So when you look at that, you can't be a fan and ignore those things and act like your guy was getting these guys one out when they was like really confident, or it wasn't something like, it's just dumb as hell to act like as fans we don't know these things. And I know where a lot of this shit come from. Let me address this. Then this guy, he do a lot of biting, because if you look at his video today, he had something called the War Room and shit. And like the War Room, that's fucking showbiz shit. It's like you just gonna be That's why when he take my shit and he flip my thumbnails and he do the same thing I do, I know, because I know I know my shit. But for two, if you flip and steal somebody else's shit, you think that anything is yours. You could just take, like, you don't have a war room. This is the first time I ever seen a nigga say that he had a war room. But this is where a lot of these nasty ass narratives come from. Is one of the biggest Devin Haney knee pad wearing fans out here. This guy, he was cool with the Normans. Like when the Normans, like a couple months ago, like 3 months ago, he was cool with the Normans. When that fight got finalized, he called himself having to draw a line in the sand, and guess what? He flipped on the Normans. Because if you go back and look at his initial videos when he was actually campaigning and grabbing hold of the torch, he was pulling this number. This is the number he was pulling. He was pulling this right here. Let me show y'all what he was doing. He was doing this. Let me show you. He was doing this. He was doing this, and guess what happened? This is what happened. Keyshawn, he imploded. Shakur, he started kind of moving and acting a little bit funny, but they was doing a great migration. Why? And what were they looking at? They never thought in their heart of hearts that Devin would take on a fight like Brian Norman. So they were actually, that's why I did that survey the other day when I said after Devin getting knocked out, who are they going to convert to? Are they going to convert to Frank Martin? Is it going to be Shakur? Is it going to be Keyshawn? Or is it going to be Lamont Roach? The overwhelming odds say it's Shakur. Well, what's in this picture? Shakur. Who self-imploded? It would have been Keyshawn. Why? Because Keyshawn was a perfect adversary for Tank. Shakur was already being an adversary for Tank. But when Keyshawn imploded, they were starting to slowly hitch their trailers to that Brian Norman wagon. Now this dude, he was making videos praising and big up in Brian Norman. As if all these things that he's saying now, he never did the research. B, he had a change of heart. Or C, he's just a piece of shit. So what happened was, he started analyzing everything and saying, hold on, man, like this shit is going through. Like this is actually really real. I'm not going to be able to do kind of like what I do, where I could like Tank and Shakur, but just be honest on the whole situation, break down the fight, still make my pick. Or if it came down to Shakur and Devin, give my analysis, still pick my side or whatever. Like just like what I said with Norman and Richardson Hitchens, still analyze it, make my stance, and still be able to big up both of them. Like even if Gary Antoine and Sabril was to fight, still give my analysis, make my pick, but do right by both of them in his way. He can't do that. So what he had to do, he had to start shitting on Brian Norman. So now all of a sudden, Brian Norman ain't shit. Now all of a sudden, Brian Norman is all about power. I'm like, hold on. And I used to catch him up in this shit all the time because I used to say, okay, you love Devin so much and you praise him so much, but all I got to do to fuck you up is bring up Bud and put and Devin in the same conversation, and you're gonna be fucked up because you're gonna contradict yourself right away. So in this situation, with him always saying, "Oh, Brian Norman, all he got is power," I did my research. Like 3 months later, 4 months later, I did. When was that? Brian Norman fought on Juneteenth. He came out 2 weeks ago and said, after I did a video outlining what happened with Boots, he comes out and do a video and say, "Oh, I did my research, and Brian Norman never wanted to fight with Boots." Well, he fought on Juneteenth, and Boots moved up the day before he fought. Only 3 weeks before that, they had Eddie come out and say that Brian Norman was ducking, and he was on record trying to get Senior to agree to a fight. 3 weeks before the fight, but he announced that he moved up a day before the fight. That was Juneteenth. This man came out 2 weeks ago and said, "I did my research, and I found out that that Brian Norman never wanted to fight Boots." So most of the time he be shooting from the hip. He's being the anti to what somebody who's on the opposite, somebody who he don't like. He's just gonna be the anti to that. And a lot of the times the shit don't make sense. So this is the nail in the coffin. This is the same dumbass motherfucker that used to just. I swear he got an imprint of Deontay Wilder's nuts right up under his clavicle, like right up under his chest bones right here. A guy who we all know that's pretty much all he had was an equalizer of a right hand. So now all of a sudden, well, I don't know why, it's the same reason why for years because they was in the LDBC, and he would come on and do interviews, and he would talk to you. And the same reason why the first time when I seen him do an interview with Deontay Wilder, you would swear it was like that movie on 300 when he was talking to the Egyptian god, and that dude had the glow on him. He was, oh, nah, King. I'm saying, though, King. Like, man, the nigga was smitten.
Yeah.
He was smitten by Wilder. But the same reason why for years, knowing that all Wilder had really was the right hand and the ability to deliver it, yeah. But now all of a sudden, he don't see all of that when it comes to Brian Norman. Now all Brian Norman got is just power now. Yeah. Right, no. Because you done drew your line in the sand, and now you got to live with all that shit, and you got to go hard or go home. Well, guess what? This is the Last Supper. So mark my words. In my chat, my community already said they're going to convert over to Shakur. So it's either, and I seen them do it with Frank Martin because ironically,
yeah, I voted Shakur too. I saw it. And I voted Shakur too. I was like, hands down, they're going to revert to Shakur.
But when I did this, ironically, this one that's right here in the bottom row in the front, when I said who going to take over, who going to be the problem, all of a sudden, oh, Frank Martin is a dark horse. But I'm telling y'all what it is. This is all it is right here. It's the Great Migration. That's all it is. Keyshawn just imploded, so they can't, until Keyshawn, you know what I'm saying, get himself, you know, get his mental health together and jump back in the ring, they can't hitch their trailer to that wagon. You know what I'm saying? So they're actively looking for somebody where they about to jump to after tomorrow night. So hopefully, for their sake, Devin do what he need to do. You know what I'm saying? He make me eat crow. But watch for some real strange, funny activity. The same shit that they just did with Boots and Brian Norman. Because I told y'all a long time ago that this is what they do. Like, we like, yeah, you cannot like a fighter or don't really particularly care for a fighter, but don't nobody really keep it a buck and call it. Like, I actually fuck with Shakur. I don't like his ways outside the ring. And I always said that when it come down to him and Tank, I just got Tank. When it come down to Tank and Devin, I just got Tank. Even Frank Martin, when it came down to Frank Martin, one of my guys too. But when he got in the ring with Tank, I got Tank. I don't really got nobody really beating the dude. Yeah. That's just me though. But I don't sit around doing videos about the dude all the time. But if you ask me some questions and you have me break it down and analyze it, I can give you something concrete. I'm just not going to gaslight you about all the shit that he do. Do I agree with everything? No. Do I co-sign everything? No. But I'm a real fan where I ain't just going to shit on my guy for no reason. Like, I don't agree with some of the things. Like, I didn't agree with the Jake Paul shit. I wanted him to go get the bag. Did I come out and do videos advertising it? No.
Yeah. But I'm like I had to tell CJ the other day, and I don't know if he got it, because I was saying it like this. I wasn't always the biggest Tank fan. Do I like his performances in the ring? Yes. Do I co-sign a lot of his activities outside the ring or whatever? No, I don't. But I'm not going to shit on the man and say he's all of this and where people are getting just way too carried away, because I said like this, and I was keeping it 10 toes down. If my son was a boxer and had the ability to go over to Tank's gym and train and learn from Tank, I'm going to let him go over there and do that. Because that's where I got respect for him at. It's like, yeah, go train with that dude. He'll have you in the right place, but you just have to remember, you're not Tank. You're you. You have to take what he's going to show you and mold that into you, make your signature style. So for me, I just look at it like this. Brian Norman and Devin Haney. There was the point where I was like, okay, I'm looking at him and I'm like, yeah, this dude got all the tools. Then I seen him get dropped and I was like, oh, bro, why did you throw the punch from there? You got a problem with distance? Is that your issue? There's an issue with you with distance? Because if you fix that, my guy, looking at what you could possibly do, you'll fuck a lot of people up. And I think, if you really get there and make the turn, you'll run that division. Then, he fights Santillion, you know, for the interim or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, why is this dude doing, you know, it looked like he turned, he looked like something happened. And this was before I saw the announcements that he had the surgery. It wasn't until the boots thing that his pops came out and said, let me tell y'all something else. My son had hand surgery, so the shit wasn't going to happen anyway. He was just coming off of hand surgery. So I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So he's getting his hands fixed and all of this other kind of stuff. So yeah, that makes sense now. And then he started to come out of his shell, and I was like, man, you can't deny this. I saw it there, but now he's showing improving. So with that being said, coming into this fight, these are two of my guys. Again, it's the first fight I'm picking against one of my guys, because at the end of the day, one of them has to win. If you hear me talk about body, I really don't try to like give an answer to who wins. I'll just tell you the path of how I think Benavidez wins, and I'll tell you the path of how I think Yard wins. But it's not like one side or the other where I'm like, nah, definitely Benny gonna win, definitely Yard gonna win. I'm not there. I'm just telling you the path I think each one of them win, and I'm gonna leave it at that, because both
like
of those
both
dudes are my guy.
You like both of them.
Yeah, and
that's like me. That's like me with Tank. Like when it came down to Tank and Mr. Gray Russell, that was gonna be one of the ones where I'm like, man, Tank my guy, but like, man, Mr. Gray Russell, that's my guy too. You know what I'm saying? That's just a DMV. That was just gonna be a good old DMV. May the best man win. You know what I'm saying? I got love for them both. That was just how that was gonna be. Outside of that, I can't. Let me address Project Bimmers, man. Like, if you don't like Tank, cool. I mean, you're not gonna get me to think otherwise, because I know the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect that you come on and you voice your opinion. That's cool. But as far as getting me to try to think that, no, it's like, no, I know business too, and I know that when you're the man, if people can say your name like they're supposed to, Shakur and everybody that's behind Tank, they're supposed to call out his name. But when it come down for when that rubber got to meet that road and they got to do something to go get a fight, they start moving funny. So we can do the same thing. We can say the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of insanity, expecting a different result. We're not going to get it. Because Shakur been saying in every interview, he been saying this about Tank, that about Tank. When he had the opportunity, he went over there and signed with Matchroom. Devin, he left Showtime. He went over there to Matchroom. When he left Matchroom, he went over there to Top Rank. He left Top Rank and went back over there to he went to the Golden Boy with the Ryan shit. Now he back with Turkey. He never went over to the PBC where Tank was at. But Tank's supposed to just give up whatever he had going on as the money guy and acquiesce to whatever everybody else wants. Where they do that at?
Yeah.
Like if I got a business and I'm doing right and I got all my shit and it's all going like it's all everything is going. It's like I'll give you an example. That's just like let's just say TBV. Let's just say Ness. That's like I want that work with Ness, right? He's already established. He's the guy. He got all the interviews. He got a well-built. So I want him to leave what he got going on over there at the TBV to come over here and see me. For what? Yeah, I want that work, but what would he look like coming over here to fuck with me? It's like, no, if I want that work, I would have to go over there and fuck with whatever he got going on his terms. If I'm not willing to go do that, I don't want that work.
Yeah.
It's just simple as that. Like, so, I mean, these guys, because when it came down to it and he sent out and he talked to Loma retired and said he want family time. When he talked to Shakur, they said, oh, we're going to spin the block. I want a multiple fight deal and all that. So I'm not gonna get caught up in that. I think the best fight amongst those guys stylistically, and when they both in their right mind, I think the best fight would have been T.O. and Tank. Why? Because they're gonna take risks and they're gonna try to knock each other out. We actually gonna see a real motherfucking scrap. You know what I'm saying? With Shakur, battle with two southpaws. Shakur gonna try to evade. use his time, space, and distance. Tank gonna have to make an adjustment, close off the ring. He could get outpointed. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to take more risks, but it's probably gonna end up in a knockout because he's gonna push himself to the limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we gotta see the fight. But all of that, Tank gotta do this because I always ask this question, and I'm gonna get off of it after this. I always ask this question. It's funny how when somebody's the A side, like especially like with Tank, when he's the A side, everything relies on him. So I say, you know what? Let's remove Tank. Let's just say he go off in the la la land and he retire. He's out the game. Why don't that same pressure apply to Shakur? Why is it not all like everything is on him to make the fight and to do this and to do that? Or like, why is it not all on these other guys who claim that, okay, aside from Tank, they not the A side, but then outside of them, they the A side to everybody else? Why they don't get the same pressure? Why it's like, oh, I just want to see him fight. I just want to see my guy stay active. I just want to see. But it's different when it comes to Tank. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can ever answer that.
Wow.
And I don't support no sides of the street. Like I heard a dumbass person talk about sides of the street earlier, like they wasn't perpetrating the sides of the street shit. Tim Bradley, that shit go way back to Tim Bradley and all that sides of the street. They the main ones talk about the sides of the street. Like, let me ask you something. I wish you would hop up here, Project members. I wish you would hop up here because I could make it real simple and plain. You know why? You know how I look at it? I look at it like with Boots moving up to 54, you know what he should be signed to? The PBC. Because he would have access to the most 54s. So it's not just size of the street, it's what weight class you're campaigning in and what promotional company you with. It's not just size of the street. Because I asked y'all this too. How was it always up to Tank? Like, listen, Shakur Stevenson decided to turn down a 6-fight, $18 million deal. When at the time, when he was faced with that decision, it was one belt with the PBC that Tank had. The other 3 belts was with Top Rank. But he decided to go to Matchroom. That's what I'm saying. Like, what people be saying, man, it don't be making no sense.
Yeah, because they want to follow the salacious stuff, and then when they see the thumbnail, and then they see the caption under the thumbnail like says, Bob Arum breaks silence on T.O., Loma, and Shakur. They won't watch that. You feel what I'm saying? Or they'll just listen to Bob Arum say, you know, Shakur is a great fighter. And yeah, I don't need to hear no more. He said what I was looking. Yeah, he co-signed it. Shakur's a great fighter. But then he's telling y'all that Bob wanted to make the fights with T.O., Shakur, and Loma. He says it in three different interviews over a course of a year. But everybody's still like, but Tank don't want to fight nobody. He ain't trying to make the big fights. He don't want to fight nobody. And he's ducking Lamont Roach, so he definitely don't want to fight nobody. But you forget that he already fought Lamont Roach, and you're trying to talk like him and Lamont Roach hasn't already gotten a ring. So when you said he didn't fight a slick black fighter, he gave you Frank Martin. Yeah. And everybody was like, but Frank, I bet you he won't fight Frank Martin because Frank Martin is a slick black fighter. I know he won't do that. And he did it and then knocked him out. Well, I know he knocked out Frank, and I know for a fact he's not going to try to make that Shakur fight next or try to fight Loma next. Okay, so he gets some more fights and then he makes the Shakur and Loma fight. Tries to make both those fights. Both those guys go over there. One retired, the other one went to a promoter that you just said in videos. That's the biggest fight. So at the end of the day, Project Beamer, you can follow those talking points. You can go over to the channels that I've seen your name in before, and I've seen you say smart things because we're talking about obviously fighters that you like and things like that, or fighters that you respect. But right here, right now, you really, really showing something different, at least to me, because I've seen you on 2 other channels when I was on their panels, And I was like, yeah, let me address Project Beamer because that's exactly the way I feel about that situation. But now you're coming up here and you're showing that, you know, I'm a fan of every fighter but this guy. And then it's like, okay, why don't you like this guy? Well, because he won't make the big fights. Well,
But-
he tried to make the big fights. Yeah, but I just don't like him. Why don't you just say that? It'll be much more respectable. And then you could try to figure out, okay, I don't like him. I don't like him as a person, but do I respect him as a fighter? And if you try to mix the two by just making the example of he doesn't try to make the big fights because you don't like him, then that is the exact definition of being biased and standing on a point that actually holds no weight. Me, I could get along with people, and I've learned how to just accept everybody's opinion. Just like old boy got up here, I respect his opinion. If he likes Jake Paul like that, okay, cool. I don't, you know, I'm gonna laugh at it. I'm gonna have my joke. I may troll you a little bit, but then I'll say, you know what? I can kind of see why you feel that way in this situation. I can see why you feel that way because Jake is a master of perception is reality. So what people perceive about Jake is the actual reality of Jake.
But this the thing though, AC. This is what I don't understand, man. Like, I'm probably one of the biggest Tank fans on the planet. But like, when the last time I did a video about Tank? See, I don't. It's like religion or like
videos. The last time we actually did videos was the lead up to the Lamont Roach fight, and I think we only did 3.
Yeah, I think I did one called Respect the Shooter. But like, I'm not one of the people that put his name up on the thumbnail and then, you know, just use that because everybody gonna come in and then but see, it's like I was saying just now. It's like people in religion and people in their sexuality. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't come trying to shove Tank down nobody's throat. I don't say, hey, you gotta like Tank, you gotta respect, you got like how Devin fans do where they want you to like I don't do that. Like, here, you gotta like Tank. I don't even do that. It's like that's like a knee-jerk reaction to where it's like, I guess I'm touching the no spot or something, or I'm hitting that spot to where it's like it's not that comfortable. So that's a retort to be able to say, like, those shots at Tank. Like, I'm not related to him. That's just my favorite fighter. Yeah. That's it. But I don't spend all day every day talking about him and trying to get people to like him. But I will check somebody on some facts. You can say, oh, he don't want to make the big fight. Okay, cool. Point made. You think he don't want to make the big fights? I got proof that says otherwise. Yeah. You don't believe my proof. You don't even understand my logic. You don't want to understand my logic. Let's move on. Because I'm not gonna convince you and you're not gonna convince me.
Yeah. And
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that just be the thing that just starts getting frustrating with people because they're going to keep repeating what there's actual proof that denies that says, okay, but he keeps ducking, smoking. Okay, all right, if that's what you want to believe. If I had your phone number, I text you the videos and stuff like that, like I did with someone else who is a content creator. And then when he came up here still talking, I was like, bro, how can you still talk after I sent you all of that information? I sent you solid information to whereas you figure out what you want to say after that because the proof is right there. The proof is right there. So if you want to continue with that argument, then it'll make it hard for me to ever go over to your channel and sub up and then try to hop up on your panel because I just don't want to do that. And then, you know, when it turns into the Tank hate party and I'm the only one defending him, I'm not trying to push him down the throat because at the end of the day, I'm not the biggest Tank fan. I am not. You feel what I'm saying? I've always been a person that stayed on principle on what I thought that, listen, he could probably beat all of those young dudes. But this dude over here, I don't think he could fuck with that dude at all. And that for me was Mr. Gary Russell. You feel what I'm saying? So even for Body, that's a tough choice for him because he's like, yeah, Gary Russell is one of my guys and Tank is one of my guys, and if that fight had to come, I couldn't choose. I'd just probably give you what I'm doing with Benavidez and Yard, give you my breakdown of how each one wins, but you won't hear me say that they're this. Me, on the other hand, I would probably be like, I hear what you're saying, and yeah, both those breakdowns, but I'm probably going to lean more towards on the breakdown of where Gary Russell wins. I could see that happening. Because X, Y, and Z. You feel what I'm saying? But overall, I've always been embedded that I just felt that at those lower weight classes, and besides the hiccup and the bullshit PBC did to him, if he would have had his opportunities to really show up and shine, bro, that dude, these jungle at 35, you know, I don't know how that landscape would have been, or 30. You feel what I'm saying?
I saw it like this. I saw it to where with Gary, in some ways it was like I think, you know, if I had to read between the lines, I think it was some things that he had to do that because of his personality and how he is, he didn't want to do them. Like I think it was more along the lines of some people in the timing in which they wanted him to fight certain people in the timing, and he probably felt like, man, why I gotta do all of that? Yeah. You know, and partly I think, and partly this is another reason why I don't care for Devin and them like that, is because like I think what happened was, if I had to, and this is my guy, like this is one of my guys, but if I had to say, I think the fact that they were talking and communicating with a fight, and building them how messy and how they are, I think, just me reading between, I don't have no proof, but just me reading between the lines and following it close, because I used to be all over this shit. That's how I knew Devin and them was full of shit, and they already had a fight lined up with Gamboa, but they was gaslighting the shit out of everybody, thinking that because he did this, he did this repeatedly. He'll have a big name that he's supposed to fight, and he be going back and forth with, and then we'll get somebody else. And they in my videos, it's already out there. Not my lives, not lives where I sit around now and do 2-3 hours. My videos where I would do like 15 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. It's in some of them videos where I'm outlining all this shit. But I think what happened was the fact that he was negotiating and it went more public than it should be. I think that rubbed some people the wrong way. Yeah. It's almost like with T.O., it's almost kind of like, not as bad, but like what T.O. did when he was with Top Rank, and then he tried to go with Trilla and all of that, and Bob had to like kind of like spank him a little bit. Yeah. I think it was that. See, but Gary had already had the respect, because at 126 he was the longest tenure. He was the longest tenure champ. He reigned for 6 years, 352 days. Yeah. And all of them guys ducked him, going coming up through there. Shakur, all of them guys. Yeah. Don't nobody point that out though. Don't nobody say, oh yeah, because they wiggled. Yeah, y'all wiggled right up past Mr. Gary. So then it did become a point in time where he was fighting just annually. And what Tank and them team was saying was like, listen, man, we at 35 now. So if you're gonna fight, at least come up to 35 and have a fight. And for the longest time, he would just wait till Tank get ready to have a fight, and then they would pop out, they would talk their shit, and people, because they drama filled, they would have them on or whatever, and they would get them to get their hot takes and get their views all up, and it just made Gary look like they just talk too much, right? But then guess what happened? He finally comes up to 35. So now the next step is to see him back in the ring, and we're supposed to see him, I think, in February. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if he stay active, hell yeah, he'll be reckoned with. Yeah, and that's always been my issue with Gary. It's like your activity, bro. And I get it to whereas you're a strong personality. You're deep embedded in your African roots and your African heritage and stuff like that.
So you're gonna speak truth to power at any moment and stand 10 toes up on that, regardless of the outcome. Because when you stay like that, you, instead of becoming like, you become the people's champ to a certain degree, but then you fall into that folk hero status. You feel what I'm saying? And that folk hero status is great if you got a channel and you're talking and things like that, like Gilbert Arenas and all of these other basketball players that are turning out with channels, and Sean Porter turning out with boxing channels and things like that. It would be great for that, and you would stay in the eye, and then people would always be asking you, so when you coming back, champ? When you coming back, champ? But you're also a recluse, and your family is kind of like structured like that reclusive type family. And time is never on your side. And for me, it's just like, I'm happy to see him come back. I'm happy to see him come back at 35. And I'll always quote this: the most gangster shit that I've seen, one of the most gangster shit that I've ever seen in boxing, was when, after all of those people we just spoke about that started out at 26 and avoided a fight with Gary Russell, right? When they all got up to 30 and was, walking around with the sag, wife beater with your chest out, you just did a hot 25 push-ups, so your shit is a little bloated and everything. You got the little veins and shit showing. Gary Russell checked all y'all niggas like dad sitting in the living room with the remote watching TV. Don't make me come up there and then listen to see if anybody had something slick to say. And then was like, yeah, where my beer at? These boys better know I'll go up there and start whipping ass. Shit, fuck around with me. Y'all little niggas don't know. You feel what I'm saying? So that right there just let me know the tenure of, okay, I can be a fan of yours, but I already seen the first fuckery that you showed me. Because everybody was spitting that man's name when y'all was coming up at 26 and stuff like that. Some guys that came in at 30 and a little bit up was like, yeah, I'd love a fight with Gary Russell. Yeah, because at that time, Gary Russell was talking about moving up in weight, but we was like, when you gonna do it, boss? When you gonna do it?
But without action, though, Project Bemmer, see, I ain't gonna play that game with you now. I say I don't respect call-outs without action behind it. Like, as i.e., David Morrell. He said, I want David Benavidez. I want him. He's mine. That's my guy. I want him. You know what I'm saying? He pursued him relentlessly. When David Benavidez moved up, Mr. David Morrell said, you know what? Hold my beer. I'm moving up. Now, the result of the fight was the result of the fight. But he didn't just say his name and then make decisions that would be contrary to actually wanting that fight. Like the shit that Boots and them just did to the Normans. Like without a corresponding action. Like with Shakur saying, I want to fight Tank, and then going to go sign with Matchroom and telling Eddie, don't even try to make a fight with Tank. With a 3-fight deal. Like I'm saying, a call out is a call out, but like you can say somebody's name, which they all supposed to do. You're supposed to yell out people's, say it, because that's what it is. I don't necessarily agree with it, especially when you know you ain't ready. But like, you can't just say somebody's name and don't have corresponding action that aligns with. Like, I'll give you another one, and this kind of splintered me with a certain fan base. Keyshawn. I like Keyshawn. I like it. I like this potential. I was like, man, Keyshawn, Keyshawn, I like him. He got a little it factor on him. He got to develop. He got to do his thing, right? And I was rocking with him. Guess what he started doing? Tank. After every fight, I said, man, look, man, you don't have to do that. Why? One, because you're on top rank. Two, because you already got two people that's ahead of you, Lomachenko and Shakur. But then you want to be friends with Shakur, and it ain't no pressure and no talk about Loma. So you got to get in line. Get in line. But he kept doing. I said, watch. I said he gonna go all the way up through this, and when he get a belt, I bet you he ain't gonna say Tank name. I said it over there in the smoke session. We talked about it. I said it. I called it out in real time. And I said, nah, he acting different. I even called out the fact that he was bigger in size, that he was the size of a welterweight before he missed weight. And I said, listen, he gonna win that fight and he ain't gonna say Tank name. Guess what happened? He won the eliminator and said, Tank, knock, knock. That's when he won the eliminator against Gustavo Lemos. He went in there and put hands and feet on Baranchek, and guess what he said? Oh, it's two other champions out there. They know who they are. They want. I called it out. So what? Tank's supposed to make him like Tank had gave him more credit than what he gave Shakur. He said your man getting ready to outdo you, but guess what? Keyshawn did. He imploded. Remember when Tank said most of these motherfuckers get the limelight, they wouldn't even know how to act if they got it, and goddamn, he was right. As soon as he got a little taste of it, he had AI. He had Mike Vick, he had the mayor, he had all that, and then motherfucking imploded. And all he had to do was go out there and spark De Los Santos. But we can make Tank the bad guy. He can be the scapegoat. It's not my job to protect him. But I'm going to address some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I liked Keyshawn. I was like, man, the dude got a fact. Like, yeah, that fight can develop. Like, but at least but it was no accountability for him to fight Andy Cruz. There was no accountability. Him and Shakur could just be friends. But it's all on Tank, right? Okay, well, go spark out Raymond Morataya. He didn't want to do that. Keyshawn didn't even want to take Raymond Morataya. Guess who wound up taking on Morataya? And Zepeda. Before Keyshawn and Shakur. Tevin Farmer. So, like, come on, man. Like, I know this shit, man.
Yeah.
I know this shit, bro. And I don't fall for no bullshit, bro. Like, you gotta consider the fact that everybody, like, think about this. And I'm gonna let AC take it from here. Think about this. Guess what just happened? Fucking Fabio Worley. He beat the odds. He get the upset of the year. Another upset, by the way, of the year of 2025. I said this is the year of the upset, right? He get an upset. He wound up sparking or stopping Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker hot for cocaine. He guess what he say after when they first hand him the mic, guess what he say? Usyk. I want Usyk. He said it. That's the call out. Guess what happened? You hear that they in negotiations, and then guess what happened? Usyk drops the motherfucking belt. Are they gonna say that Usyk ducked that man? Because technically, that's a duck.
Man, listen.
But guess what's gonna happen? Politically, they gonna say, "Oh man, Usyk ain't gotta fight him. That's a young gunner, man. He don't really got it." Okay, so what? He didn't want to do it. It don't make sense. The bigger money fights, they gonna say everything in the book that's gonna say that ain't no duck. But what is it, AC?
Hey, bro, and I'm not even gonna say arguably. I'm not gonna say technically. I'm not gonna say none of that. Me, that's a blatant fucking duck.
Exactly.
It's no way to get around that. We're in talks to fight. I just called you out. I got my shot. You guys see the durability in me. You see that power carries in me.
I got an equalizer.
And now motherfuckers is scared. Yeah, you're a little bit old. You've been through 2 wars back to back. You went through the AJ war back to back, and you went through the Fury war back to back. You did Dubois twice. You feel what I'm saying? Bro, if you was gonna drop that belt, Usyk, you should have dropped all of them and just retired. Because
right.
Here's what they gonna say. Well, if not Obatiah, Itauma
yeah.
wins his fight, Usyk would rather fight Itauma. because I'm telling people will feel a certain way. Wardley stops in Talma. And Talma is a one-trick pony. He's got power, and that's it. Look at the level of competition in Talma been fighting, and
But
ask
I think
yourself if Usyk was gonna fight either one of them out of the two, who was he gonna choose?
probably Tama,
Yeah,
because he's greener, but they stablemates though. Like they Itama and Warley, they stablemates. So that's got to be almost like some Creed shit got to go on for that to actually happen, I think. But this is my point though, to bring it full circle, Project Bimmers. This is my point. Like with Usyk doing everything that he's done, technically that's a dub, right? Am I gonna go out and make videos about it and be like, no, because he done enough, right? But see, he's going to get away with saying business wise, and they're going to come up with something that business wise, his next move is going to be like, oh, okay, this is why, whatever. Right? So the power that be is going to make his next move be like, oh, okay, so that's what he was doing. And everybody going to dismiss the fact that was really a duck. Like, it's not nothing to put enough behind to say that that's a duck. Like, and Usyk is respectable enough. He done enough with the Undisputed and all the people he beat. He came by and corralled up the heavyweight division. No real shit. Technically, that's a duck, but they're going to say the business. So all of these guys at a certain point in time make a move business-wise to where we going to say, oh, man, that's a duck. But then they going to say business-wise, this makes sense for me. Fuck you. They all do that. It's like when Frank Martin, when everybody was salivating to see Frank Martin and Shakur. We was like, oh man, we got one. Like, they about to calibrate the 35 division. This is like the next. And then Frank was like, nah, I need a little extra. And Shakur was like, nah, you signed the contract. And Shakur and Frank left. I said, man, Frank, I gotta call it how it is. That's a duck. You my guy, but that's a duck. Y'all, whoever signed it, you signed it. Like, your people signed it. Obviously, they thought that was enough money. That's a duck, bro. And then they was like, nah, because they know that Tank, he got a Tank fight. You know what I'm saying? Tank, he got a Tank. I said, yeah, but I said, man, nobody was expecting him to beat Shakur. Like, I had him a dog in the race. I was saying it was a 50-50 fight. I fuck with Frank. I was saying it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Because Frank will take some risks. You know what I'm saying? I think his power is a little underrated. You know, but he gonna take some risks. He's a boxer puncher. I was like, man, you're gonna forego getting outpointed, getting out-fenced by Shakur, who you have more of a shot of beating than Tank, as opposed to going to go get knocked out by Tank. And what happened? Yeah, he went and got a bag, but he got knocked out by Tank. It came to pass, like exactly what I said happened.
Okay.
Like, so for a second, we could say, yeah, you duck Shakur. But because of business, he gonna say, nah, man, I made a career decision. This was a business move, and I got paid more. Now we waiting for the man to get back active again. But like, how do you label that? Like, what do you say? And he had still been calling out for Keyshawn. He's still been calling out for Shakur. But guess what Keyshawn saying? Or gonna probably say, oh man, you got knocked out by Tank. I don't want to blah blah blah. So it's like, yeah, you got that bag, but was that business move? Because they know you were tough out. And they're going to use the fact that you lost and got knocked out to not fight you. Now.
You want to hear something funny, bro? Yeah, peep this shit out, right? For the WBA, Kubrat Pulev regular champion Fabio Wardley, interim champion, right? Moses Talma sits at the number 1 spot. For the WBC belt, Ajit Caballero, interim champion. Lawrence Okolie sits at the number 1 spot. Daniel Dubois sits at number 2. Derek Chisora sits at number 2 for the IBF belt. Moses Talma sits at number 1 for Fabio Wardley, and Philip Hergovich is 2. Zilly Zhang is number 3. You feel what I'm saying? And Dubois sitting at number 4. So yeah, we got to see what Usyk is gonna do, because part of this, it's perplexing to me, and stuff like that, because Wardley is still within striking distance of you, Usyk.
Yeah, because it's like, what else? Like, it's gonna get to the point to where it's like, okay, what makes sense for you?
Yeah.
Like, what makes sense for you? Like, okay, like, because if you're not gonna risk the biscuit, because I mean,
does he fight Adjik Cabello? Does he fight Cabello? Does Usyk fight Cabello? Or does he fight Ntalma? I don't think Lawrence Okoli is going to be a name in that list. I think the short list is going to be, and I'd hate to say this.
Is that Turkey guy? Is Caballero Turkey's guy?
I'm not sure, but he did show up on two heavyweight Turkey cards.
I'm leaning more towards if I'm playing the business game like Usyk look like he playing, you might want to get Itoma while he's still green.
Yeah,
but I actually like Itoma. I'm trying not to get too high on him, but I actually like Itoma, man. I kind of like the foundation of where he's nice.
Yeah, he's nice, but he's just like there's just something missing with him, to me. For me, I was also gonna say, what are you gonna do about Pulev? If you're making business decisions, who's on the short list? You can condense the belts for the WBA. You feel what I'm saying? You could go after Caballero, or you got Ntalma. I think that's the short list. If you're making business decisions.
Caballero, Itama, and who else?
Pulev. Because Pulev is still sitting there as the regular champion.
I don't think nobody wants to see no Pulev. But
yeah, I'm just like, they gotta do something about that.
Yeah, because I mean, what else do he do? Because it's kind of weird that he didn't do that Fabio Wardley thing, and I hate the fact that nobody ain't giving, like, it's always people that make a living on being anti, man. Like, it's just nasty what people were saying about Fabio. I'm like, the dude got a chin. Like, when you look at a fighter, and I'm gonna close out after this, man. I'm gonna let you land after this, but I'm gonna say this, man, before we get out of here, man. When you look at a fighter, you gotta consider all things with these fighters. Like you could have, let's just say Abdullah. Are you one of my? I think the world of Abdullah, man. But let's just say he don't have. Let's just say hypothetically he don't have the best chin. It could be somebody that's less skilled than him that can get punished. Like, in being a 10-round fight, get punished for 9 rounds, and because they got a 10, but they got an equalizer, but because they got that chin. Like Fabio Wardley, he doesn't have the technical prowess like an Abdullah Mason. No. What do he got? He got motherfucking dog. He can learn. He's athletic. He got the equalizer, and he got a motherfucking chin. Like, unless he go around and do what Subriel doing, which Subriel take way too much punishment for my liking now. But unless he go around and do that, he's going to get better. Like, he's going to get more skill. Like, his technical abilities is going to grow. But guess what? You can't create in him. You can't create a chin. He already got it. So he might not be the technical boxer that Itama is, but guess what? We don't know if Itama got that chin. But we know Fabio got it. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta consider all things when it comes to these fighters, man. You gotta consider, okay, well, this guy might not be as technically sound, but he got a hell of a beard. If he don't go around and get hit in the head and always rely on being out, like almost kind of like how Wilder was doing, always getting outboxed and beat on, and then he happened to land that. If he don't get in the habit of doing that, he's always coachable, teachable. He could go on to be one of the best to ever lace him up. But you got to consider everything. You got to consider somebody punch resistance. You got to consider if they can grow, if they can make adjustments, like how their defense is, if they got an equalizer. Like, you got to consider all of that shit when you're looking at these fighters. You know what I'm saying? That's what I look at. Do they do body work? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they listen to their coach? Do they stay in shape?
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. Pulev fought twice in 24, and he's got to fight 12-12 of this year. So the man is still active. Let's just keep that in the back pocket, and we're talking about business decisions. But other than that, I think it's official now that Ryan is definitely going to fight Barrios.
Yeah, and I don't like that. But Barrios just turned into a slut, man.
Yeah, and
like I'm like, you just parading that butt around, and anybody can have some of that. Like, you ain't trying to unify with nobody. You just waiting around getting paydays, just letting everybody have a whack at you. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I don't like it. I had more respect for Barrios, but it's starting to be like, man, you like a strumpet now, man. Anybody could
He one of them 1970, 1980 Times Square hoes.
Yeah, it's my turn.
For real. You just
it's my turn to get a shot at Barrios. I want some Barrios. Yeah, that's what everybody say and shit when they get done. Yeah, I want Barrios. Like, come on, like Conor Ben, that's what he said. I'm like, man, I don't respect that, man. Like, I don't respect that, man. Like, you don't want, like, that man didn't even say Norman. It's like, it's wild, man. Like, I hope Barrios, I don't know, man. But yeah, and Ryan getting another shot. Like, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, 2026, it's going to be a good year for boxing, but we're also going to see, some stuff that might not be that great. But at the end of the day, man, where I land my plane on this entire cook, it's just interesting to hear, some of the more extreme talking points for this fight for me. Some people may feel that my talking points are extreme, but I feel as though I can technically break down why I feel that way and use sound reasoning based on these fighters' performances and going way back in the past and say, all right, who's have made the most improvements. And we're talking about the entire package, mental, physical, the whole 9 yards. And when it comes down to that, by a mile, I got Brian Norman. Devin Haney's still going to be my guy, but it's just one of those situations for me to whereas as a boxing fan, it's like this loss is going to do more good for you if you look at it and find the silver lining and come to have your man in the mirror come to Jesus moment, or come to Allah moment, or read the hadiths or some shit like that and figure out, okay, I've tried to scale a mountain, I faced adversity, I was knocked down from the mountain. How do I rebuild myself, rebuild my brand, and rebuild it this time to whereas the brand doesn't have any cracks? When I start to make these links, each link is, titanium grade, military grade steel. You gonna need a special type of high grade plasma cutter to cut through this shit, and even if you try, it's still gonna take a minute to where you might get bored of trying to cut through this shit. If he can start to build himself like that, you'll still be a great fighter. One loss doesn't mean your career is over. One bad knockout doesn't mean your career is over. If you do what you if you come back, take the loss the way it is, give that man his props after the loss. Have your pops not come over there and then try to say, well, we want PED testing right now and all of this other weird shit, then you'll lose the fight with grace, and people will be like, yeah, Devin did fight his heart out and things like that. Because even in the circles I was running with when it was the whole Bud Crawford thing, as soon as the fight was over, I went back on those same channels like, bro, I hear what y'all saying and all of that, but you gotta give, props to Errol Spence, because his heart was broken. He fought his fucking heart out, but it just wasn't enough. And if y'all can't look at that man and still say he's a great champion, it's still a future for him, then I don't, I'm off this Bud Buddy shit, and I'm off a lot of this other shit y'all trying to make me wear the jacket, so I'm not gonna do that. Oh, how you feel that way, Ace? Yeah, bro, because at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the sport. And yeah, I've seen some of my great fighters take a bad beat and get stretched out to where their fucking arms are stretched above their head. Donald Curry got knocked out like that. You feel what I'm saying? And I had to live with that. He was doing good, then boom! Oh shit! You feel what I'm saying? For me, I'm gonna be looking at that type of situation with Devin Haney going into this fight. But I'm honest enough and such a good fan of his that I would be the fan that they probably be like, nah, get your ass up out this room, because you talking crazy. And it's like, I'm not talking crazy. I'm just trying to be the one in the room that say, listen, Dev, calm down on that, not on your level stuff, and just talk to where he's tough competition. I'm going in there to get the win. Well, what about, I don't knock people out. I'm a boxer. Best I could do is a TKO. And if I could put more hands on him and develop my game plan just about picking him apart and putting hands on him, my whole energy towards this fight might be different. It'll be like, look, I'm a fan of both these guys. I really don't know. You didn't leave me with nothing. You left me with no receipts. You feel what I'm saying? You basically left me in the restaurant after we ate, and you like, you pay the bill. I'm out. I'm like, nigga, you the rich one. What the fuck is you doing? You the millionaire, nigga. You feel me? On some joke shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, I have to still say this was out of left field, Devin Haney. And regardless of the outcome of the fight, you gained respect of a lot of hardcores and a lot of people that, were extremely hard on you. You feel what I'm saying? But you gained a certain level of respect when you made the fight. Where you chipping at that respect is the way you're talking. You're on this disingenuous shit again. You're lying to us by saying, when I decided to move up to 47, I wanted to face the toughest challenge, and Brian Norman was the toughest challenge. Yeah, I give you your respect for giving him the respect like that, but that's not why you did it. You wanted easier touches, and there was a list, and all of them dudes was like, nah, I got something else going on. Nah, no, fuck you and fuck Bill. I'm not gonna be a part of that circus. This man said, you know what? You're the perfect thing to build my name on. That's the difference of mentality. You're coming in trying to convince yourself of something and telling us of something, although you're giving him the compliment. But you're convincing yourself that this is what you originally wanted. And you got the fans out here feeling that it was what you was originally wanted. But we all know, because those all of those beans were spilled. The toothpaste was already out of the container. So at the end of the day, bro, good luck to you. I applaud you taking the fight. I think it's going to be a good fight until it isn't. And when I say it isn't, it's when this dude connects on you. When he does what he say he gonna do. He gonna cut the ring off after you taste his power, he's going to have you. He's going to have to go into that mode of cutting the ring off, and they're waiting for that moment. They're waiting for that moment for you to get on your bicycle. I think that's part of their game plan, to make you get on that bicycle and then pop the tires and then knock your block off and then do some real Debo shit and take your bike. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I'm gonna land it, bro.
Word, man. Well, good stuff, man. Well, you know, we'll be chit-chatting tomorrow, man, in the build up to the fight and all of that, man. We just one wake up away, man.
Yeah, all day. And what time does the fight actually start? Because
I know that I seen some, but David Benavidez and them supposed to walk out around 9 East our time, but like I know it start well before that. So I'm thinking shit, probably keep your head in the swivel around 7.
Oh, okay. Because I heard there's like the preliminary card is massive. I heard. I don't know how true that is. So at the end of the day, man, I'll be looking forward to everything. I have everything set up. I'm just taking a break from everything and just like really just doing a fight day for myself.
Oh, okay. All right, man. For sure. Enjoy the rest of whatever we have left for this evening. Well,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
10 o'clock.
For sure, bro.
All right,
On
man.
to the next one, man.
Peace. But let me say this, man. I really don't hope Devin get hurt, man. It's a possibility. I don't hope that the man get hurt, but I do think that this is where the rubber meets the road. I think this is a long time coming. I don't think that there's a fan out here who wouldn't actually be able to say anything at this point, regardless how strong your opinion is or whatever. All the work's been put in. All the talking's been done. All the training's been done. It's nothing else left. It's just they just got to get in there and scrap now. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they don't get out of bed and sprain the pinky toe or stub the big toe or, you know what I'm saying, poke themselves in the eye, brushing their teeth, like nothing stupid, nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's over. Like this is where a lot of answers and this is where a lot of the talking, this is where a lot of fans are going to realize that all the talking that they be doing, all the shit that they be saying, all the things that they be hoping, all the gaslight that they be doing, it's not really going to be able to affect the outcome of your fighter. It's whether or not they put the training in, whether or not they believe, whether or not they're going to reach down in their pantalones, that they got a set of cojones, make the adjustments, take the risk, and do what they need to do to solve the puzzle in front of them. That's where we at, man. This is just a combination of, in my opinion, a guy who's always been fighting everybody with all these advantages, you know what I'm saying, picking people at the right time, picking opponents like tailor-made to what they can do or seeing a blueprint of what's happened before them and actually letting their fans, to a certain extent, steer them wrong. You know what I'm saying? You need, like for me, I need friends around me that's going to tell me, hey, man, you got boogie in your nose. You got toilet paper on your shoe. Hey, go like this real quick, like that. Tell me. Don't have me walking around all jacked up. Let me know. Those are the kind of people I want around me. Not a bunch of yes men. Not a bunch of people that singing my praises and telling me I can't do no wrong and my shit don't stink. You know, I had to look at my lady sometimes like, you sure, babe? Like, you ain't just saying that, are you? You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. So now you know you getting in there. This man's getting in there with a dude that's a natural 47 who has shown you. I forgot what movie it was. I think it was Love Jones. When they were playing around. I guess they didn't realize they wanted to be serious with each other. I think that was the movie. Been so long since I've seen it, but they ran into each other. And I think Lariz Tate was telling her that, man, I got this other job, you know what I'm saying? I got this part-time job that I be working this part-time job hard, you know what I'm saying? And they was talking, but they were speaking in code. And guess what? Boxing has just showed you in the build-up to this fight that the spot that Dev thought he had, it was never fully secure. And a lot of people were just going along to get along. Like, you know, the relationship with somebody just going along because, you know, it looked good, or I want to have that person on my arm, or I want to, you know, I want to be seen with this one, or everybody know it, and you can gain some kind of fame or some kind of notoriety or something like that from it. But that relationship wasn't really good. This press conference, this build up, all of this stuff that's been going in, let everybody know that they were hungry for something else, something more organic, something more authentic, something more real. Because I can't count how many people I've seen to where it's like everybody say, oh man, this young man grew on me in this one. Like his personality, he just genuine. He's down to earth. He don't care about all that flashy stuff. He don't care about the clothes. He just want to fight. He want to scrap. He answers everything. He's a straight shooter. He's himself. I tried to tell y'all that that's what the game been missing, but see online, even in content creation, it's a lot of people that ain't themselves. They be stealing ideas, they be stealing talking points, they be piggybacking off of other people's conversations, they be taking people's thumbnails. Like it's nothing, a lot of times it's nothing original about these people out here. Brian Norman has came through in one run, being attached with a name and having a life. He done won everybody over. Why? That tells you that you've been missing something. You've been wanting something. And a lot of the characteristics, I said this a long time ago, a minute ago. I said a lot of the characteristics that he actually got are the same characteristics that Errol Spence had. To where people just organically, like when they heard Errol Spence and how he was and just being authentically him, that resonated with them. It just so happened that they both from the South, one from Texas, one from Georgia. It just so happened that that's the case. That's all you got to do is be yourself. And I think for him to be so young, but yet be so smart and be a student of the game, man, you are looking at the making of the next star. They just want to scrap. And this is definitely, what's so scary is this is not the finished product. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere close to being a finished product. This is still a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? But this to me, this is the Last Supper. This is Ice Age. This is it. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how, like AC said, depending on how he handled this, Devin, the outcome, how he handled what's going to happen, is going to dictate how long and how far he go after this. But I think this is it. You can't convince me otherwise. Why? Because I've been following the bouncing ball all along. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to gaslight me. And I'm going to stay with my opinions. I'm not a yes man. You know what I'm saying? I always critical think. You're not going to be able to take that away from me. I'm not going to agree just to agree with anybody. And I ask people, I like being challenged. I like when people force me to use my critical thinking skills. They keep me sharp. They keep me on my toes. That's what this channel is for, where you can have your opinion. You know what I'm saying? But this is fact-based content, not opinion-based. This is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. You know what I'm saying? Silence is consent. So all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. You know what I'm saying? I take up for a lot of people, man, out here, especially when it comes to boxing. Why? Because I don't care about being popular. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is therapeutic. It keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me having something to do when I'm not tending to my business or kicking it with my lady. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get, man. But I appreciate everybody who took time to come through and stop by to the channel. May the best man win. I'm not gonna bet against David, but Yard he can upset the apple cart. You know what I'm saying? I got Brian Norman by total devastation. You know, I got Abdullah Mason. If he stay patient and he don't do nothing out uncharacteristic, like when Teofimo ran in there with Cambosos like a bull in a china shop. If he don't do nothing like that, I got him stopping Sam Nooks. And I think that dude Puma, he's being way too extra, way too disrespectful. All that extra energy he exuding, Bam gonna stop him in about 6 rounds. Those are my predictions. And if I gotta eat crow, oh well. You know what I'm saying? That just means we got a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? There's some hellified things happen in order for me to have to eat that crow. But anyways, y'all, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, Rex? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to